Salute to all the diehards. This is Die Hard Giants Live with your host. I am Jarrell on IG and Twitter. We got a bye week this week, so that's why I'm in my nice little away icy whites today. I'm feeling good. We don't play today, so it's no stress. I'm just sitting here with my guy Ero in the background watching Red Zone, and we just talk about other teams in the league. And today we'll go over some stats for the Giants since we're in the midweek of the season, and we're just gonna go over some stats. Let me get Eru in here. Eru, how the hell are you, man?
Chilling, man. New York City Marathon today. Spoiler
Oh,
alert, but I didn't know. Traffic nightmare. I know I was telling you about that a little earlier, man. I made the mistake and went out early, driving around. No, that was not a good idea. Nah.
salute to Geraldine already live with us. What's good, Geraldine? Salute, salute, salute.
That's what's up.
Ah, man. So I'm guessing since you did a little running around today, you haven't watched that much football today, have you?
Absolutely not. I haven't watched football until I started doing this with you. You just started to make the channel. I'm telling you, yeah, go ahead, do it, do it, do it. So next thing you know, I'm watching football again with you, man. So
Yeah, we'll go over some of the scores that's happening today. There's some really high scoring games today, man. Like Cincinnati, I know it's killing the Panthers like 40 something to 7.
phew.
Yeah, I forgot if they even scored another touchdown. The last time I checked, it was 42 to 7. They might have scored again though.
Look at the Dolphins, man. 35-25. That's crazy.
Right.
Third.
Like, and I'm kind of jealous, man. Even though we're 6-2, and on top of the world right now compared to the talent that's on this roster, watching all these high octane offenses is pissing me off. Like we definitely need a wide receiver, man. We'll get into some OBJ talk a little bit
Mm-hmm.
later, but let's go over some of these stats so far, midweek of the season. Like we actually had a bye week at perfect timing, man. Like to have your bye week smack dab in the middle of the season. Yeah, it's pretty much perfect for us. Like hopefully the players could get rejuvenated, coaches, actually see their wives a little more than a couple hours a day, see their families and kids and stuff, and
Yeah,
actually do some real family stuff, real man stuff instead of just watching and critiquing football all day.
yeah, definitely. You need a break, man. You need a break from other men sometimes. You get, the whole goofy stuff that guys do all day long. Sometimes you just need to be away from it. Just
Right.
you know. I broke my foot, man. So I've been away from it for what, 3.5 months, man.
Now you ready to go back?
Nah, man. As soon as I go back to work, man, it's gonna be right back to the same nonsense, man. So
Right, right, right. Well, so far, our leading passer, there's no qualms of who's going to be our leading passer is Daniel Jones, like almost 1,400 yards. That's low as hell compared to the average quarterback in the league. But we already talked about his weapons, and Daniel Jones has pretty much been the heart of this team so far. I know a lot of people are talking about Saquon Barkley, but it's Daniel Jones is the one that's actually leading this team.
who's the next highest passer in the NFL? Because 13 does seem pretty low for like this point in the season.
I don't know. I'll have to go into like the league leading stats, but yeah, 1,300 right now in the middle of the season. Yeah, that's low. Like he's projected to have under 3,000 yards in
Right.
a season. So yeah, that means that we are a running team.
Yeah.
Let's just say that. We'll talk about the receiving soon. The receiving is disgusting.
Yeah. Yes, I've never seen anything like that, especially in this era. This era of the wide receiver that we don't have any
Right,
wide receivers. That's ridiculous, man.
right. We look like the 85 Bears right now.
1985. 1985. I remember 1985.
Yeah,
that's
man.
that's how old we are. You know what I'm saying?
1985, Walter Payton was running all over the place, and you know McMahon was, trying not to lose games. They just had a tough defense and a good running game. That's what we are pretty much. I
Yeah.
wouldn't say is we were definitely not as good as they were, but that's just how we're built right now.
Well, you know who's worse than us? Justin Fields. But I mean, didn't he start late? Justin Fields.
Now he didn't start late, but this is only his second year, and he doesn't have any weapons either. Like they have one receiver that you would even draft in fantasy. That's Mooney, and
Right.
he's not a number one guy really either. He's just their number one guy. And they did just trade for Claypool
Okay.
from the Steelers. So Justin Fields, his numbers are probably going to go up, but he hasn't had that many weapons either.
Yeah, he had 1100, 1199.
Right.
Yeah, Marcus Mariota, he's right over him with 1432. Talking about passing yards.
Mm-hmm.
Carson Wentz.
Mm-hmm. Carson Wentz. Well, Carson Wentz got benched. That's why he's so low.
Right.
Or he
So
would.
who's better? Let me ask you that. Who's better, Justin Fields, Marcus Mariota, or Daniel Jones? Would you rather have on this team?
Well, Mariota's already out because he's older. Like I already think that he's definitely going to be a a high end like backup. Like he's starting for Atlanta now because they don't have a quarterback. They just
Right.
drafted Desmond Ritter from Cincinnati, but he was like a second or third round pick. So he's not going to start. He might not be a starting quarterback at all because depending on what their record is, they're probably going to draft a first round quarterback in next year's draft. So Mariota's out. Like I already got him out. So it's between Fields and Daniel Jones. From right now, I'm picking Daniel Jones because he's a way better passer than Justin Fields.
Aha.
But
That's good news.
Justin Fields, when it comes to anything else, Justin Fields might get the edge. Like even though Daniel Jones is athletic and can run, he's no Justin Fields though.
Okay.
Like Justin Fields is way more mobile and faster, and you know, than Daniel Jones. And his intangibles, he was always a high-ranking kid. Like him and Trevor Lawrence were like the number one and two quarterbacks coming out of high school and college when they got drafted.
Right.
A lot of people think the Jets should have drafted Justin Fields instead of Zach from BYU, and I agree with him. Like Justin Fields is going to be better than him, I think.
Well, you mentioned Trevor Lawrence, man. We got a chance to play them right now. I think they're 2 and something,
Mm-hmm.
2 and 6, I believe. So they're pretty trash too. I did not like his passing ability when we played them. I didn't really like it. He's real skinny. I didn't
Really?
like his command really, to tell you the truth.
He got a lot of talent, man. I don't know. I think when this is their first year under their coach. Remember, he already got sabotaged with his first year. He had Urban Meyer for that 1 year,
Right.
so he pretty much was in that system, and it was a complete waste. So this is the first year in his new system.
All right. So just giving him the benefit of the doubt. I
Yeah,
get it.
I'm just giving him the benefit of that because he is super talented. I'm not saying that he's going to be like some superstar or whatever, but I have to give him the benefit of the doubt until at least his second and third year into the system. And Doug Peterson is already a Super Bowl winning, proven coach. So
Nice.
we'll see what how good they're going to be like from years to come. It won't be this year. They're in a rebuilding year just like we are.
Right.
It's just a different
But they're
stage
not
because
too.
no, they're not because our coaching staff is the best in the business for right now. You know what I'm saying?
Word up.
But yeah, yeah, I'll pick Trevor Lawrence, then Fields, then Mariota. Or those were the three, right? Or who's the other one?
I mentioned Carson Wentz, Derek Carr. Those guys always hurt, right? Derek Carr's been hurt this year too, right?
No,
What's going on
Derek.
with Derek Carr?
No, I think Derek Carr actually been playing, but he's like I don't know. It's like he's above average, but he's not elite. If that
Okay.
makes sense. That's why a lot of people are upset with having Derek Carr as their quarterback. Like he's a franchise quarterback. Like he's good enough just to get your coach fired.
I get it.
You know what I'm saying? Like Kirk Cousins, Carson Wentz, like they are like above average quarterbacks, but not elite. So they're just good enough to make you lose games and get fired. Salute to Tsunami. Tsunami Speaks is in the building.
Yeah, Tsunami was good. Yeah, man. So I'm trying to paint happy trees with the Knicks, man. I mean, with the Giants. I'm thinking about the Knicks, but I'm trying to paint happy trees. With all these quarterbacks instead of Derek Carr,
Hmm.
and I've had Derek Carr on my fantasy team before. So
Hmm.
I'm familiar with them. But I mean, if Daniel Jones had like two, if we had two decent, not even elite wide receivers, just two playable wide receivers, with those numbers go up a little higher.
Yes, those numbers will go up a lot, especially with the coaching staff that we have. A lot of people have to remember that Brian Dable, comes from offense coordinator from Alabama, national championship, OC for Josh Allen with the Buffalo Bills, and you see his progression. and development. And our offensive coordinator is Mike Kafka, who was the quarterback coach for Pat Mahomes at KC. So
Mm,
we have, a nice little coaching staff around Daniel Jones. So that's why I actually think that we will not be trying to get a quarterback in the first round. Daniel Jones is going to be our quarterback of the future, at least for the next couple of years.
I got that. So my last cloud, I'm gonna put some happy clouds up there with the trees, man. So is he? Can you compare him now? Let's say if we did have decent wide receivers, could you
Hmm.
put him up with Kirk Cousins and the Garoppolo? You know what how he pronounces Garoppolo, whatever.
Yeah, yeah. You talk
You
about
put him up
Jimmy
there with
G.
those guys.
Yeah, because Jimmy G is old. He's pretty much past his prime. He actually has weapons that he can't really do anything with it. That's the only reason San Francisco is even losing games is because of him. Like he's not. He's
Oh,
remember he's not even supposed to be starting. They had Trey
right.
Lance over there, and Jimmy G lost his job to Trey Lance, and Trey Lance got hurt in the first game of the season. So Jimmy G's a backup quarterback,
Okay. So I'm doing some clicking here, man. I'm
right?
not clicking fast
Do
enough,
some do some
but
clicking. Kirk Cousins, he's like Derek Carr. Like I said before, he's just good enough to get you fired. Like he's not going to win you any type of championship or you know put up big numbers in playoff games. Like he the man, but he doesn't really lose games either.
okay.
I mean, like
I'm
he's
look.
a game manager. Like if the Vikings had like a really good running game and defense, Kirk Cousins can win games, but he's not going to win games for you.
Right. So I'm looking at the wide receiver core for San Francisco. So who are their wide receiver guys here? The big ones.
You got Debo Samuel's, who's a Pro Bowler. You
Right.
got Brandon Ayuk, who's a up and coming guy, real small and fast, but he put up big numbers too. He can put up big numbers on you. That's all you pretty much need. And they got George Kittle, who's a top five tight end in the league.
All right. So if we had Debo and we had the other kid, how good would the Giants be right now?
If we had those wide receivers and that tight end, oh, we'd be
Well,
undefeated.
nice.
But we don't have those though, so I don't even think of it like that. Like that's how bad our weapons are.
But this is a bye week, man. So I'm just imagination. You need to do the. You need to find the SpongeBob imagination gift
We'll,
and put.
we'll we'll definitely go through the wide receivers. Like we could skip over Saquon Barkley because he's second in the league in rushing. Like he almost got 800 yards already. Like
Yeah.
he's obviously going to be our leading rusher. But our leading receiver is Darius Slayton at 232 yards. This is week 9 in the NFL. Do the math. Like that's how bad our passing yards is. So yeah, if we had two wide receivers or starting wide receivers, we would be undefeated. Like we would not be losing any games. Like the last game that we lost with Seattle, Geno Smith had two Pro Bowl wide receivers.
Right.
Both of them scored touchdowns for a reason. Like Tyler Lockett and DK Metcalf are Pro Bowl level wide receivers. He had both of them.
Wow.
So if both of them was on the Giants, oh yeah, we'd be undefeated. But we don't got them, so I can't make that as an excuse. It's just roster construction. We got to get guys like that in there.
I mean, bro, that this shit is crazy. 232. I mean, I'm looking at the. I don't know how many this is. Maybe top 25 or top 20 or so. Numbers I'm looking at. The
Hmm.
the lowest guy is 483, and the highest guy in the league right now is Tyreek Hill with 961.
Right.
So I mean, we're not even in between there anywhere. We're not even close to the 25th guy.
Nope. And that's just in yards. He's not our leading receiver when it comes to catches.
Oh no.
Our leading receiver when it comes to catches, Saquon Barkley is our leading receiver. I think he got under 30. Like it's not even like he's killing. I think he got like 28 or something receptions. We'll look at it down there when I scroll down. But I think he
No.
got under 30 catches. But Darius Slayton got like maybe 20 balls with 230.
Okay, that's incredible.
Like that's a testament to the coaching staff that we 6-2. There's no way in hell we should be 6-2.
Yeah. It's been a lot of great drives this year, man. Incredible. I mean, you got me back into football. I'm a Giants fan. I used to watch the Giants a lot. I used to always watch. I watch every game, can't miss, right? Because I'm really interested in like the chess match of football, both sides of the ball. So I'm really interested in football that way. But I mean, I just fell off the last couple of years because of COVID is one part. The whole other thing, Colin Kaepernick stuff, kind of turned me off a little bit. So I mean, but you starting this thing, man, started the whole thing. So I'm having a good time, man, listening to you talk football and bring up all these numbers and stuff like that. It's this is very very intriguing, man. Good
I'm
stuff.
glad, man. Hopefully anybody that sees this, that's seeing this, that hasn't been, you know, keeping up with football or the Giants can actually start doing so, man. Especially maybe because we're winning. That's the good thing. If I would have started this channel last year, you might have a different, outlook on things. Because this time of the season last year, you would have been pulling the hair that you got left out.
God, I have hair up there, man, but it's just the hairline is not where it used to be. You see, there is hair up there.
Andy, salute, salute, Andy. You can join the panel anytime you want to, bro. Like you're always welcome if you got time. I know it's late out there,
Yeah,
so salute to Andy.
yeah. Andy, international Andy.
Yeah, man. So we can skip down a little bit. Defense as leading tackler is Julian Love, who has been a really really pleasant surprise. Like I had a huge question mark at strong safety. He's actually been playing very very well.
Hmm.
Like and plus, that's a good thing and a bad thing because if you don't notice, our top three tacklers is a strong safety, a cornerback, and another safety, a free safety. So that should tell you what the state of our linebacking core is like.
Right.
Because your
But
linebackers are supposed to be your leading tacklers. They're not.
yeah, that's crazy. But from what we know about what's going on with these guys, man, how do you what's your impressions of the Giants defense as far as expectations of what you initially thought they were going to be and compared to what they've actually done this year?
I think, like we talked about the offense earlier, I think Wink Martindale, as our defensive coordinator, should actually get considered as like offensive. I mean, not offensive, but us like assistant coach of the year.
Mm,
Like I think he's actually done more than Kafka has with the offense, even though we're winning games and he's getting Saquon off like he should. But Wink Martindale doing what he's doing with this defense is absolutely remarkable. Like we don't have any linebackers. Kayvon Thibodeau, he actually had to miss the first couple of games of the season with an injury. My other leading pass rusher, Aziz Ojolari, he's often injured as well. I think he's only played like 1 or 2 games this year. Hopefully, we can get him back, after the bye. Our cornerbacks, we had to give our number one cornerback away because of David Gettleman's financial troubles when it comes to the cap. So James Bradbury had to be released, even though we desperately needed him. He ended up going to a division rival with the Eagles, and they're undefeated. So that
mm,
should show you, that should show you, the state of the Giants and what their financial, cap situation was.
yeah.
But other than that, yeah, Wink Martindale has been doing a very good job. Like Dory Jackson, he's not, he's usually not considered a number one corner, but he's doing very, very well. We have a lot of rookies contributing, like Belton from safety from Iowa that we drafted, I believe, in the fifth round. So yeah, we're doing pretty good with this defense, even though like changes have to come. Like if
Right.
we actually had, healthy pass rushers and good linebackers, this defense would be like top five, like no question, like easily.
Yeah. But that's the draw for football. Like I was saying, the chess match, because you need coaches, you need guys to be able to put people in the right position to succeed. You got to be able to cover certain spots. It's almost like a real time fantasy game. Like real time strategy game, I should say, on video games. When you make your decisions on each particular play, you can utilize whatever resources you have in order to succeed. So that's exactly what football is. From play to play, you put your guys out there and you predict what another team's going to do, or you know what your weaknesses are, and you can put guys in certain spots to try to cover up those holes. And
Right,
that's exciting to me, man. Just the strategy of it.
right, right, right. That's why like football is definitely the most complicated sport in team sports. That's why there's so many people involved with it. So many
Yeah,
players. You have a coaching staff that's endless when it comes to how many people that's on it. All the finances that go into it with the facilities and stuff. Like football is crazy when you actually get into the ins and outs of it. Instead of just watching the game, if you try to pay attention to what actually happens in order for the games to take place and what they do on the field, like it's really, really remarkable.
Yeah. Too many people, we were looking at the red zone. You got it queued up for us here at the red zone. So I
Hmm.
mean, people just really want the red zone. They want to see touchdowns. They want to see guys, running and scoring touchdowns. That's what they want to see. But
Hmm.
like real people that enjoy football, the whole package of it, man. It's more than just red zone. It's a whole lot of things going on.
Right.
You know?
Like I have NFL, the new little NFL.com thing that you can actually have the like NFL Plus is called. So I got the little yearly thing, so that means I can actually go back and watch the games anytime I want, and watch them in a condensed form. So you can watch a whole football game in like 40 minutes.
Wow.
Like the last game, every game that I watched our game at least 5 times. Like that's just how much of a nut I am and nerd I am about football.
Yeah.
Like I could be sitting here at work and just have it on my screen and see what we did in certain situations and what time and certain formations I can go back and look at and stuff. Like I'm really a nerd when it comes to this stuff. Like you can really get deep into the weeds with it.
Yeah. That shit is awesome. Basketball used to be like that too. I used to always watch the replays. They do like the Knicks in 60, where
Hmm.
you go watch back and they just cut the game to 60 minutes and stuff.
Hmm.
But it's nothing like football, man. Where you really like it's for real. It's like playing like I don't know. I can't think of any like real time strategy where you build your team up and then you can go attack other cities and stuff. That's
Hmm.
essentially what it is. You're building up your resources over time, and it's a lot of fun.
That's exactly what it is.
Yeah,
It's like one of the world domination board games.
yeah, definitely.
Yep. So like, look at we already know that Daniel Jones is going to be our leading passer, right? But Saquon Barkley, look at Daniel Jones. Daniel Jones has almost 400 yards in the middle of the season, so he's almost like he might mess around and get almost 1,000 yards like going forward at the end of the season.
Yeah, he might, man. I mean, what's the next quarterback? Well, Justin Fields got 424. I'm looking at. There's a couple guys.
Yeah, I'm
Uh,
pretty sure like my man from the
Lamar
Eagles,
Jackson.
who,
I see Lamar Jackson. He got 553.
yeah, he would be number one. But who's for the Eagles? What's his name? I
Oh, Brees, not Brees Hall. That's
Not
the running
Brees
back.
Hall, the other quarterback for that used to play for Alabama. Justin Fields, not Justin Fields, Justin Hurts, Jalen Hurts. That's his name.
Jalen Hurts.
Yeah,
Okay.
Jalen Hurts. I'm pretty sure Jalen Hurts has a lot of them because he's a running quarterback.
Yeah, 326. He has.
Yeah. So like Daniel Jones got 363. So that's pretty good, man. Like by the end of the season, he might have like around 800 yards. That's crazy.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Now here goes the bad stuff. Saquon Barkley is our leading reception getter at 28 with 189 yards. That's average numbers for a running back, especially compared to this. That's actually below average for Saquon Barkley. He
Okay.
hasn't been used nearly enough in the passing game. Like his rookie season, he got 90 balls.
Mm.
So in the halfway through the season, he only got 20, like 28 for 189. Yeah, that's really really low. That just shows you that we're not just not passing the ball to wide receivers. We're really not passing the ball at all.
Right.
Richie James, the punt returner who fumbled 2 punt returns last game, was the reason we lost the game to Seattle. He has 20 balls himself, 191 yards. But then Darius Slayton came out late last couple games, and he got 16 balls. That's when I'm telling you he was leading us at 232. Like these are very very low numbers.
Yeah.
Daniel Bellinger 16 catches for 152, and he missed the last game. Fourth round rookie. Like he's just a fourth round rookie tight end, so you can't really expect that many big numbers from him. And the next after that is like Sterling Shepard, who's been hurt since game 3, and Wendell Robinson, who's just actually played the first 2 games of his career.
Right.
So yeah, our wide receiving numbers, our receiving numbers in general, are pretty pathetic when you look
Yeah,
at
that's
it.
pretty bad.
Pretty
No, but
bad, man. That has to be the worst in the league by far.
yeah. I was gonna say something nice about Slayton, but Slayton can't catch. Right? He's
Not
he's
at
like
all.
one of the worst hands, man. Jesus.
Not at all, man. He's like Featherstone from Necessary Roughness. He got no
But,
hands at all.
yeah, I see that.
Like every now and again, don't get me wrong, he'll catch the ball, but like for a professional wide receiver in the NFL, nah, his hands are trash.
You trying to say he got a handicap sticker in his car, man? He got no hands at all. It's
Maybe,
just
man. Cap,
SSI.
Captain Hook on both nubs, man.
Captain Hook, I like that too.
Captain Hook on both nubs, man. Hands for feet. Like he got a deform. Like he got some type of problem with his hands. It's
Man.
ridiculous.
So how the hell did he become a wide receiver in the
Because
NFL?
he's fast. Like he's one of the fastest people in the league. Like, he's very, very fast. Like running a 40 in the 4.3. Like he's very, very fast.
So can he be a running back then, or can he do anything
No,
else?
no. Because that, like, you got to just take the good with the bad. Like, he's good when it comes to physical stuff, right? Like, he's very, very fast, right? He's quick. He can get downfield, but you just have to hope that he catches the ball. Like, he's a wide receiver. He can't play anything else.
Damn. Imagine that being that athletic and just gifted, and then like you right there, you could be the greatest ever, but you just can't catch, and
Right,
that's your one job that you have.
right. Because that's the only reason that he's not a like a number one or number two starting level wide receiver is because of his hands.
Damn. So can anything be done about that? He just that's just a mental thing at this point, right?
Yeah, you can't do anything like that. It's just you can practice with the jug machine all you want,
Right.
but in game time situations, if you can't catch, you can't catch. I'm pretty sure he practices it all the time.
So what if somebody puts like crazy glue on his hands or something like that,
No,
and just let him go out there?
it's illegal.
Damn rules, freaking.
Damn rules. And it crazy, dude. As soon as he catches the ball, he would have to take his gloves off. Like you would be able to get rid of the ball.
Yo, catching with gloves is like once you got those wide receiver gloves, it's like
Hmm.
it's basically like you got glue on your hands. So that those should be illegal.
Nah, I guess. Yeah, I guess you could say that. But if you can actually feel how fast one of those NFL footballs was coming towards you, and you actually catch one,
Yeah,
you want those gloves on too.
hell yeah.
It just looks easy when people see it on TV. It's not easy
Nah, it's not
at
easy.
all.
But still, they're so tacky. It feels like that you can like scale walls with those things, man. Some guys that I have at work, I work in the field. Okay, I'm not let me calm down. I work in the field, right? Whatever, man. So when I grab stuff, when if you grab stuff with those gloves,
Hmm.
like you can't let it go. You could just have it kind of in your hand, and it would
Hmm.
still stay in your hand. Those gloves are great.
Yep, I love them. I actually, working around the house and stuff. I use football gloves to this day.
Yeah, definitely.
I can't get them. I got like mad football gloves here.
Yeah, if I wanted to slap the shit out of somebody, I'll put some under some wide receiver gloves, right? That's like you'll definitely get some good traction with that.
Yeah, man. Hold on. Where we at? Defense, real quick. Jalen Love, like I said, our leading tackler with 58 tackles. Our leading linebacker, like I said, has only 39 tackles for the season in 8 weeks of play. so, so that should show you, like, and then look at that. If you actually look at the other stats, it's not another linebacker until 25 with Jahad Ward.
Damn.
Like all season, it's a half a season of football has been played. Think about that.
What about sacks? How's the Giants doing with sacks? We're not touching nobody in sacks, I think.
Right, the sacks. Dexter Lawrence got 4. That's one thing. O'Shane Zimenez has 2. Like that's not anything either. He's been hurt in the past few games as well. Um, yeah, Kayvon Thibodeau only has 1 during the season. Like he hasn't come along yet, but
That's
you
a
know,
surprise though. Only one this whole year, and that was a
yeah,
big sack too. That was like a game winning sack.
right, right. The one with um Baltimore.
Yeah, he was crying like a baby after that. That was great.
Yeah, that was great for Kayvon Thibodeau, but yeah, like sometimes rookie pass rushers, it just happens. Like Aiden Hutchinson, the number 1 pass rusher that got drafted, he hasn't been killing in the league yet. Like when it comes to pass rushers, sometimes I don't know they could be shot out of a cannon and just get sack after sack, or they could just be just the opposite. Like
Right.
Kayvon Thibodeau would mess around and have a sack a game for the rest of the season. Like he's really, really good. He just hasn't gotten the actual stats yet.
Right.
Because if you actually go deep into the stats, like the analytical part and stuff, like it shows that when it comes to the entire league, he has one of the best like pass rush rates in the league as a
Mm.
rookie. Like he's like top 20 in the league.
So that's like having stuff in baseball, right? Like you, oh, he got some good stuff, that type of thing.
Right,
Good
right.
technique, you know.
Like say if you're rushing the passer right and you don't sack him and you don't get there, but you disrupt the play somehow.
Right.
Like they count and look at stuff like that too. They count pressures. Those are called pressures. Like when it comes to pressures, he's actually above average. He's just not getting sacks.
Okay.
So that's
So
actually pretty good coming from a rookie. Like that means like he's just going to get better and better. Like he's a young rookie. Like he'll be fine.
yeah.
And plus, he's the type of person when you actually like listen to interviews and stuff. At least the interviews that I've seen and how he comes across, like he's one of those dudes that's actually going to work at it. Like he seems like he loves football and wants to be great. I like kids like that.
Yeah, absolutely. Just for that time against Baltimore, he was actually crying after the game, and he's like, he is happy to be here. That's one guy that's he's super humble. That was
Yep.
just not too. They were saying that he didn't really love the game, whatever. But I mean, just being around him a little bit, you see this guy absolutely bleeds this game, man. He loves this game.
Yep.
You know, I could see him with his personality staying on probably after his playing career to do commentary and stuff like some of these guys are doing now. I could totally see him doing that.
Yep. I could definitely say it. That's pretty much. You could tell that's going to be his trajectory. Like as soon
Yeah,
as he retires, he's going to be in somebody's booth. I can tell,
yeah.
or somebody's studio, like ESPN or Fox or somebody. Like I can. He just has a personality to be one of those type of dudes.
Yeah. Or he might start his own podcast. Like players are doing that. That's unprecedented. You know, you got Draymond Green got his own podcast and he's playing still. You know,
Yep.
JJ Redick had a good one too. What's my man? He's in the Players Union. This in the NBA. What's his name on the Pelicans? He was on Portland.
Oh, CJ.
Yeah, CJ McCollum. There you go.
Right.
He's like in the Players Union and he has a podcast. How do you do that? You're like talking about your game. It's almost like betting, almost to me. I don't know.
No, it's not like betting. You can still talk about your peers while you're playing them. Like Taylor Lewan got one of the tackle for the Titans. He just got hurt recently, but he has one of the biggest podcasts on Barstool
Okay.
called The Boys. Him and Will Conti, a linebacker that used to play for Washington, and I think he plays for the Texans now. I
Okay.
believe, unless he's not playing. But I know he
So
played in the league recently. But Taylor Lewan is like currently the starting left tackle for the Titans.
I got you. But isn't there like a thing you're not allowed to talk about on like players that are not signed with you? I think that just pertains to front offices. So I guess players can do what they want.
Yeah,
Does that?
they can do what they want because they're not really talking about like X's and O's with the game. It's a podcast. It's almost like satire. Like players are going there and telling stories and stuff. They're not necessarily talking about football. It's just
Right.
football players talking about life, if that makes sense.
Right. So they gotta be careful though, because they can't just be like, "Damn man, I wish I had that guy on my team."
Right,
You know,
right,
you can't
right,
do
right.
that.
They can't have any type of tampering or anything like that. I think they
Right.
know that. Like, they know the rules.
Right.
But you're
That's
right.
smart.
They can't just do that. You can't just have a podcast and just have other players for the team like, well, how are you doing over there? Like, how you feeling? Like, where you going? Like, nah, you can't do that. That's tampering. You can't do that.
But we were saying earlier too. You said like I forgot what player you said. You said you would love that guy. You know, we was kind of joking offline about whatever player that was. You know, but can they do? They can't do that. They can't be like, oh man, I love that guy. This that, and that. I don't think they could do that.
When it come to no
That's problematic.
players, well, when it come to coaches and executives, they definitely can't do that. When it come to players, yeah, you'll probably get fined saying something like that too.
Right.
You're not supposed to be doing that.
Yeah, man. I would be broke if I was like playing in the NFL because I can't stop talking. You know, with this podcast stuff, man. Even if I was playing and I could do a podcast, I would do one too. You know, so I would be losing money like crazy, man.
You just be getting fined. No, no. You say that until you actually get fined that one or two times. You'll be like, I'm not losing all this money for that.
But
You'll shut up eventually after you get hit $10,000, $20,000, $30,000. That's kind of dumb for you to just keep doing it.
Yeah, then my voice will start turning. Start talking like this again. Yeah, guys, welcome to the Diet Giants channel. I'm here with my man. I'm Jarrell. I'm here. I'm happy to talk about
Right.
some football.
Right. And you actually getting fined from the people that actually give you your checks. Like you can't dispute it or anything. Like it is what it is.
Right.
Like it's just gone.
That's crazy.
All for a podcast while you're playing. Do it like after you retire.
Right.
If you want to actually say stuff like that. Like
Right.
go against them and say stuff like that, but not while you're playing. You still got to be smart.
Yeah, definitely.
Freedom of speech has been a huge, you know,
Yeah, you
topic
know,
this
we're leading in
this
that
week.
direction. I'm trying to pull it back a little bit, but
I,
we're here already. So
I know, like freedom of speech is a huge topic, but freedom of speech comes with freedom of consequences too. Just got to
yeah,
remember that. That's all.
like I guess it's the same thing because I'm talking about my job, right? But you don't know where I work. Even if you did know
Hmm.
where I work, you just have to be careful how you say it. Like I can't just say like if I work at McDonald's, I can't be like, man, the food sucks here,
Right,
man.
right, right.
God damn.
Exactly.
I hate the manager. Or this, you just can't do that. It's just like stupid. It's conflict of interest there.
Right. So then you can't just go to your boss and be like, yeah, it's freedom of speech. I can say whatever I want. Not when you work for us and you're down in us. No, you can't do that.
Yeah, I mean every job, shout out to Kyrie, right? All they're gonna do is like this. Say, here, see, you see this book? What's this? NBA bylaws. Oh shit! There you go. NFL got one. McDonald's got one. You know what I'm saying? Key Food, the workers at Key Food and ShopRite, they got it too. So everybody got bylaws. You gotta
Yep.
abide by that stuff.
Yeah, people don't get to understand that though. And yo,
Yeah,
shout out to Tsunami. I don't know if she watching us still, but the Jets are, in the red zone. Hopefully, about to score. 2 minutes left.
yeah.
Up seven. Well, no, 17-17.
So Nami has a nice speaking voice, man. I catch you guys show, listen to our talk. She has a really good speaking voice.
Yeah, man. Salute to Tsunami, man. She used to be called the Bowling Chick, but she changed her name to Tsunami Speaks. She
Yeah,
got a nice little show. I'm gonna actually put her link
yeah,
in the
yeah.
chat right
Duh. I
now.
guess she got her own channel. Yeah, so Nami speaks.
Yep, I just put it in the comments. And Eru, I put yours in there too. How about that? Boom.
Sounds good.
Salute to Stream Deck buttons. Love them. Yeah,
I
but she
have the
cool, man. She's nice. She know her stuff, man. She's a little emotional when it comes to them Jets, though. I ain't go front, but yeah, she's pretty good, man. Love
All
her
right,
channel.
I gotta jump on the channel one time and infiltrate the channel just so I can
Word.
yeah.
She actually went live earlier today, but like I was doing something, so I couldn't come on. I was about to bombard her channel. Then she was talking about the Knicks.
Okay, should do that. What's up, man? Shout out to everybody that does this stuff, man, because this is not easy. It's not easy to do this. Like just to sit and talk, and you can hear. I mean, we got headphones on. The headphones is not to be cute. The headphones is so we can hear ourselves speak and stuff.
Word.
Because if you don't have the headphones, it's weird because you're in a room. You can't really hear yourself. But once you hear your voice in your ears, it becomes a real thing. You can hear yourself speak. I can hear you speak, and then just to keep your thoughts and have everything that you're trying to accomplish with the stats and stuff, and everything else that's going on around you. It's a lot of stuff, man. To
Yep.
do this.
A
Yeah.
lot of research you got to do if you want to do it correctly. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Unless you want to keep messing up and look like a fool when you go online. You know what I'm saying? Like you got to
Right.
practice and do your research, and you got to get your shit together.
Well, yeah, I mean, like if you're on like a live channel like ESPN, Fox Sports, or something like that, if they having technical difficulties, they just hit they've got a StreamYard button. I mean, excuse me, a Stream Deck button too that can go to commercial.
Yep.
We can't just go to commercial and then you guys will come back. There is no commercials on these things.
You know what it is? I think I'm going to create one though. I'm gonna be the first dude with a commercial. I'll be right back and then I'm gonna hit a video and maybe it'll be like 2 minutes long.
Yeah, I was thinking of doing that too because I got a couple of sponsors that I never promote on my
Right.
channel, man. So I'm thinking of
Right.
of having that so I can get up and go take a piss sometimes.
You
Sometimes
can
I gotta
you
pee so
you can
bad.
you can pre-record a video, make it like what I mean. Say if you gotta go to the bathroom or something like that, you can pre-record a video that's like 2 minutes long. You just gotta make sure you come back in that 2 minutes, but that'll give you a little bit of time though.
Man, some of the stuff that I've been eating, man, with this stuff, man. Remember the 6 hot dogs? God, man, I had to go drop a brick down, man, after those hot dogs that day. 6 hot dogs, that
Oh
was a
man,
mistake.
I would call that the episode of the Glizzy.
Yeah, that was a good one too. That was a good episode.
Yeah, because was Steph on there? Or was Andy on with us? I forgot.
Yeah, I
Somebody
forgot.
was on with it. I think it was Steph.
Yeah,
Salute to
Steph.
Steph too.
Yeah, salute to Steph.
Dope
Yeah.
Soul Sports Talk. Just nicking it. I'm a panel guest on there. Thursdays at 9 o'clock. We switched our days to Thursdays. It used to be Tuesdays, but now it's every Thursday at 9 o'clock. Dope Soul Sports Talk.
That's what's up.
Matter of fact, I'll put Steph channel in there too. Hold on, just in case somebody in the chat come through later. Bam.
What time you guys doing that though? 9?
Yeah, 9 o'clock on Thursdays, man. Every Thursday. And you know, if you free Eru, you can hop on. She'd love to have you too.
Yeah, I know. I'm in the little thing there. So I just gotta time it better. I just like I said, my schedule is definitely changing now. So, I gotta figure it out how I can get that in there.
Look at Andy. Salute to Andy still up. Yeah. That's fire.
Yeah, yeah, it's dope stuff.
So what else we got? Like I don't know. We don't really got to talk about special teams, but Graham Gano is pretty good in the league. Like he's a consistent kicker. Like he only missed 2 field goals all season. Like he's 8 for 9 from the 30-yard range, 5 for 6 for 40-yard range, and 4 for 4 in the 50-yard range. So like we got one of
That's
the best kickers in the league actually.
that's interesting. The longer shots he's perfect, but close on he missed those chippy. I mean, people say 30 to 39 is kind of chippy, but he missed one.
Right.
40, but 50 to 60, man, he made 4 of those. That's incredible.
Yep. So we got actually one of the best kickers in the league. One of the most consistent, I can say.
Yeah.
And Richie James is our punt returner, as you can see. But he fumbled the ball 2 times last game, and it was the reason why we pretty much lost. Because
Yeah.
those 2 turnovers led to 2 touchdowns, and we lost by 2 touchdowns.
Let me say something, man. I had dreads for 12 years, okay? So I know that's the wave now. All these guys got dreads because all the rappers got dreads. So the guys are always copying whatever was going on in pop culture, right? So I don't know how you could play football with dreadlocks or locks, whatever you want to say.
I had
I
them.
don't know. You had locks too?
And when I played football, all of high school, I had dreadlocks. I cut them off my senior year. I
So
started growing them when I was in the 8th grade.
what did you have? Were they as long as these guys have them?
It was like it was past my shoulders. Yeah, by the time I cut them off, I had them for
Okay.
4 years.
Well, listen, man. My hair was I could tuck when I finally cut them. I could tuck my hair in my pants, no
Oh
problem.
yeah, your junk was long then. But yeah, when it gets that long, then yeah, it'd be really difficult. But a lot of people just roll it up in a bun and have it sticking in the back of your helmet.
Okay.
But yeah,
Well,
it is difficult the more hair you have, obviously. Yeah.
yeah, I mean, for me, for basketball, like there's a lot of shifting, so you got to go back and forth and that type of stuff. So if
Hmm.
you have it tied up tight, man, that thing comes out sometimes, or whatever, or it plays games with your neck too. Like
Hmm.
you feel like you're getting like a whiplash effect on your neck when you do certain movements when you have long hair like that.
Or you'll see like a player. If say if they do roll it, not roll it up in like in a bun, they'll have it like in a sock so it goes straight down
Hmm.
in the back. So if you see like a big long sock coming out of the back of somebody's helmet, that's what that is. That's the dreads being wrapped up. They have it like that too.
Yeah, that's tough, man. When I played, man, I couldn't. That was like probably like the main thing that
Hmm.
used to bother me because like you want to play, you want to sweat, you want to do your thing, but I mean when that hair is up there, you can't really do much about it.
Right.
Sometimes I used to put it up in like a cone, like freaking what's my man name? Junior Reed. I used to have my shit like Junior Reed, man. So people used to be looking at me like I was crazy. Sometimes I would have the like the tall Rasta hat, and I would have the brim backwards,
Hmm.
and I used to play like that. So sometimes people would hit it, but I had it so whenever I had it like that, it was so tight that you couldn't knock my hat off. Like if you knock my hat off, then we fighting. As soon as I get up, I'm gonna fucking kill you and everybody else with you. You know?
Ah man, hey yo, the Jets is quick report for the Jets. The Jets is actually looking good. They had a field goal when they was deep down their end zone. They didn't score a touchdown, but they scored three. They're up three with the Bills, and the Bills only got 33 seconds left, and it's 4th and 21. So the Jets look like they beat the number 1 team in the league today.
That's what's up. I'm totally ignoring the freaking red zone stuff, man. So have they been showing the red zone for them?
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Oh, that's crazy.
I've been watching it this whole time.
So that's what's up, man. They'll be 6-3, right? If they win this game, 6-3.
Yep.
That's excellent.
Jets got a good team. Like Jets, when you actually, I know this is a Giants channel, but the Jets are actually way more talented than we are.
Yeah.
Like when you look at their players, they are way more talented. Like in every position, except for running back, of course, because we got Saquon. But they, before he got hurt,
Yeah.
Brees Hall was one of the best. Like he was looking like he was going to be one of the best running backs in the league. He's a rookie, but he got hurt though, so the
Wait,
jury's out on him. But he was good.
when you have put up the stats for the receptions and stuff, the catches,
Hmm.
um, what is this? Attempts, I guess. No, rushing. I'm looking at rushing. Where's receiving? So I mean 9-3. I feel like the amount of receptions today for the Jets alone is like more than the Giants had the whole entire
Right.
season,
I
man.
put it back up. This is the season. This is for the season. Hold on.
Right.
Let me make sure. Yeah, receptions.
Look at that, 28. That's the high, and that's the running back for Christ's sake.
Yep.
So I think the Jets alone today might have 28 receptions as a team. I'm looking at it, it's like nine. It's 9, 3, 4, 1, 2,
Yep.
2, 1, 2. Whatever. Do the math. That's close to like
Well, all you
you
gotta
know.
do is look up. If you got their stats up, just look up Zach Wilson's completions. You'll see how many completions that he has.
Wow.
But the Jets just won, man. Salute to the Jets. Salute to Tsunami.
Yeah, it's exciting. I think out of all teams, right? Like when the Yankees are playing good throughout the year, nobody cares. Everybody's waiting for October. Are we going to be in October? Okay, cool. Then
Hmm.
then when it comes down to it, we'll be ready to watch in October. The Knicks, it's a stressful. No matter what, even if the Knicks win 50, 60 games, this shit is stressful all year. Like the way the basketball is, but football, like riding high on a football team where they're playing good and this, that, and week after week,
Right.
I think that's like the most like rewarding or just like fan like as far as fans are concerned, like it's a great feeling to know that your team is good like that. It's like you wear it like a shawl all week, like a cape,
Word.
you know. Yeah,
So
but you
I
don't get
know.
that release for other teams, other sports, I mean.
So I know that Tsunami probably not watching us because she just watched her Jets win. So knowing her, she's going running around the house going crazy.
She
So I'm
probably
up. Right.
clapping it, like, pop, 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 pop,
Right.
twerking in the house right now.
Right. She going crazy right now because they just beat the Bills. So that's a big win. So I'm gonna tell her in the chat if she come back. I'm gonna tell her that she can hop on if she want to hop on the stream and
Yeah, that'd
talk
be cool.
about it if you want to. Not email her, but I'll probably DM her the link.
Yeah, that's fun, man. I wish I could twerk sometimes. It looks
Why?
like a lot of fun.
Hold on, man. No
Like
twerk
for real,
talk.
man. For real. I'm telling you, you're a big dude. You never like twerked, man.
Have I ever twerked? No, I don't think you want somebody my size twerking. That'll look really, really weird. Like I don't think that's, you know, I don't think that's really appealing to anyone.
Yeah, that is weird. I just got the mental picture to it. It's
Yeah, you
like
have some
I don't
like,
think I needed that.
yeah,
I
you
don't
don't
think
want
anyone else
like
needed it either.
no big offensive tackle just twerking in front of you. No, I don't think so. I don't think that's really appealing. I'm sorry.
Nah, I don't know. But I mean, women get to do that. They have a women's night out, whatever, where they go hang out. Sometimes they might sleep in a hotel together, and then they be in there, twerking or doing whatever they do. How come we can't do that?
No, absolutely not. Absolutely
I'm
not.
all alone there.
No,
Nobody's.
well, you didn't say we. Like you can find somebody else and try to do it. Just me and you can't do that. Like we can't do that. No, you're right.
Yo, that is a perfect transition for Odell Beckham Jr. Because he's probably a guy that's probably twerked plenty of times in his life, man.
Yo, you wild for that too.
But it's the truth though. I bet you if I'm hanging out with Odell somewhere, we all hanging out, we got music playing, and we drinking and stuff. I bet you that he might twerk at some point that evening.
Really,
I think he might.
man. How about we talk about Odell being on the team, not twerking? Just in case he watches this. Hey, Odell. I do not think you're going to be twerking. I think you're just going to come to the Giants and actually be our number one wide receiver again. How about that?
That would be awesome, man. I mean, but he did come out his ACL surgery, right?
Yeah, he hurt his ACL in the Super Bowl.
Wow, man. So I mean, it's rough, especially football, because you need to be able to plant your foot down and be able to really grind, to make your cuts and stuff like that, man. So, but if he's ready to go, he looks big too. I don't know if you saw the little pictures, the
Mm-hmm.
paparazzi. They found him in Newark Airport and stuff. Yeah,
Like
he looks big.
I didn't see the video, but I have seen like video of him recently. He has looked like he's put on some muscle, man. Like I think that's by design. Like I guess maybe trying. I guess with the injuries that he has been having, it's not like he was too small because he's actually had two ACLs. So,
Right.
but
Two of them.
he's yeah,
But I
two
mean,
of them.
the recent one was
He hurt
like
his
early in
ACL
his
with
career.
us, and he did it like early in his career with us. He
Right.
hurt his ACL, and now he just hurt it in the Super Bowl. In the Super Bowl, during the time he hurt it, he was actually in the running for MVP at the time. Like he was the best
Right.
person on the field at the time before he got hurt, and then Cooper Cup started killing.
Okay, I got you.
But he was on line to be the MVP of the game until he got hurt, and that was like in the first quarter. He was killing. He had like I forgot how many yards he had, but he almost had 100 yards like in the first quarter.
Okay. So I'm trying to find some information. It says Odell Beckham Jr. I'm looking at Sports Illustrated. It says that he was at Giants facility to visit Sterling Shepard, as reports are being told here. So that was on was October 4th,
Yeah.
2 days ago.
Yep. Sterling Shepard's one of his best friends, and he's still friends with Saquon. So I don't know. It's a natural fit. Obviously, he's been here before. We're in desperate need of wide receiver help. The only thing I don't know is paying him, and he's coming off injury. So what do you pay him?
Right. It's going to be a prorated contract because it's only like a couple games. It's not a full season. You know.
No, but that like if say we sign him, it still goes on our cap somehow. Like I don't know if we can afford to sign him even for the rest of the season. Like something has to happen maybe. Hopefully Kenny Galladay can reconstruct his contract, or I don't know. But if you do that, you might have to add another year to it. So I don't want that either.
So if we do get him, it would have to be some multi-year type of thing. It wouldn't just be like a rental for the year.
Well, you got to think about on his end, right?
Right. Mhm.
For him, if I'm Odell, yeah, I'm doing a multi-year contract. I'm not doing a. I guess it depends on the type of incentives that I have in the contract. Like I can sign for a year for the rest of the year, and the incentives are high. But knowing Odell Beckham, yeah, he's going to want at least 2 or 3 years. Like he's put up numbers everywhere that he goes. Like injuries, the only thing that's really stopped him. Injuries and bad quarterback play.
Yeah, I get that.
Like when he was with the Browns.
Well, they're saying that he's expected to be fully cleared this week, so he'll be ready to go.
Yep, he's ahead of schedule.
So the Cowboys, they're saying that they're trying to get him. The Cowboys, Rams, Giants, 70s, 49ers, Chiefs, and the Packers are all trying to get Odell.
Right.
What do you think is the best fit? Because I mean, we absolutely need a wide receiver. So
The
you
best
know,
fit, I guess it depends on where you think his head is at. Because when you want a winning situation, the best fit is not for us because we're rebuilding.
hmm
If he wants the ball, we're a perfect fit. He knows the facility. Obviously, we're a perfect fit there.
right.
He already has a relationship with the fan base and the organization, so we're a perfect fit there. When it comes to money, I don't know. It all depends. Like the Cowboys, I don't know how much they could pay him. Like I would have to know everybody's salary cap situation, but you know, I don't think money will be the end all be all with Odell. I think he would want to go to the most winning situation. So that's why I really don't think we're going to get him.
Okay. So what's
But
the winning
hopefully, I
situation?
want him though. The best situation for me, I don't know. Name him again.
Well, I pulled off it, but let me see. Let me get this up here again. Well, they're definitely talking about the Cowboys.
Mm-hmm.
The Cowboys for the 49ers. Give me a second. They got the Rams, uh, Chiefs, and the Packers.
Yeah, for me, the Chiefs, and they
hmm
just got because think about it, they just got Tony from us, right?
hmm
If they sign Odell Beckham and they have Tony from us, and they still got like Juju Smith-Schuster and some of the other wide receivers that they have, then yeah, they probably will be Super Bowl favorites.
But opportunity though, he's not gonna have much of an opportunity. He'll just be like he'll be in the rotation, but he
Yeah,
won't be like getting a lot of targets.
yeah, but for him, just coming off an injury, he might like that though.
Mm,
And plus, if you're in a winning situation, like him now, I think in the career that he's had, he's already won a Super Bowl last year. I think Odell just wants to win. I don't think it's young Odell anymore. He's not going to be crying for the ball
mm.
anymore. Long as your team is winning, I think Odell will be quiet as hell. Like I don't think you'll have any problem with him. But if your team is losing, that's when it'll be a problem, especially when he's not getting the ball. I don't think that'll happen here either. Like don't get me wrong. When I say a winning situation, I just don't see us as a Super Bowl team. But if we got Odell Beckham and we already 6-2, we're going to the playoffs.
Right. He's kind of up in age too, like 30 compared to when he first was here. Totally different player, man. He was like out of his mind when he first got drafted to the Giants. You
Hmm.
know, super athletic. Doing a lot of things he probably wouldn't do now. As far as stretching his body out and that type of thing.
Hmm.
But just his personality, even the hair. Remember he had the blonde hair and all that stuff when he was with us. He had that with the Rams too.
I'm about to say he
But
still got it.
yeah, he still got it. I'm just trying. I'm like pulling at straws here. I mean, he's definitely I mean, wide receivers are nuts anyway. Wide receivers are crazy.
That's actually my favorite position and the most that I've studied in my life. Like I love the wide receiver position. Like
Yeah,
when I at one point I wanted to become a scout and was to be like a wide receiver coach.
that's a lot of fun. That's a lot of energy though. Because I mean,
Yeah.
between wide receivers and I think sprinters, like 200 sprinters, they're basically the
Hmm.
same personality. Those guys are just like they're like Top Gun.
Right.
Like you can need for speed. You got to be the fastest, whatever. You can't constantly talking, running top speed and still talking. That's like an
Right.
incredible.
Because I was nothing but like I played wide receiver. I was just so big they put me at tight end, but I was nothing but a big wide receiver. I didn't like blocking and stuff. I was way more Antonio Gates and Shannon Sharp more than like Jay Novacek or something like that. I hated blocking. I used to love wide receivers like Jerry Rice, Sterling Sharp, Andre Rison, Michael Irvin, of course. Like I grew up watching and studying like the best wide receivers ever.
Yeah. So it's interesting, man. I mean, it would have been nice for the Giants. That's the thing too. What do you think about the trading deadline? Do you think the Giants it was a good idea for the Giants not to do anything at the trade deadline?
Yeah, because the like the draft compensation that you had to give up for one of these wide receivers was, we're not at that space yet. I know a lot of people, you know, think we're good and think this roster is, not complete, but like close to being complete just because of our record is 6-2.
Right,
We are not supposed to be 6-2. We are way ahead of schedule. We
right,
weren't supposed to be 6-2. Maybe not even next season. Like
right,
that's how rebuilds usually work. Like especially we don't have somebody that's considered a franchise quarterback. Saquon Barkley was coming off injury and he hasn't been good since his rookie season, and this is his fourth year. All of our wide receivers either didn't have no production, hurt all the time, or just plain not good. And we had holes everywhere on defense. Like Gettleman got fired, and our coaching staff got fired for a reason. Like we were really really bad. In the past 5 years, we have the worst record in the NFL. It's between us and the Jets.
right.
So like when you be the worst team in the last 5 years, and then all of a sudden you hire, one regime, and then they become 6-2 in the first half of their first season. They're way ahead of schedule. We're not supposed to be here at all. So, in their mind, for you to give up like draft compensation, like a second round pick is huge for this organization. Like that's a certified starter going forward next season. And or they could use that pick to move up to get a quarterback if they don't believe in Daniel Jones. Like you can't give that up for like Chase Claypool. You
Right.
can't give that up for like Jerry Judy from Denver. That's why the deal wasn't done. Like you can't give up that type of draft compensation. Not where we're at the time of our rebuilding process.
Yeah, that would have been my next question. Like, like would that have been worth it to get a guy like Claypool or something like that?
Not for a
And
second. Like they gave up like a second and a fourth, or a second and a fifth, or something like that. Don't get me wrong. I like Chase Claypool, but Chase Claypool isn't winning us games like that. We would have gave up a second round pick for a wide receiver that's not considered a number one wide receiver.
Right.
Like, why do that when you can possibly draft? Depending on your scouting and how things fall in the draft, you might could get a number one wide receiver with that second pick in the draft,
Right.
a younger one. You know what I'm
Right.
saying? Like one that doesn't have like tape already. Like we already know what Claypool is. We already know what Jerry Judy is. Who else got traded? For a second, I forgot it was another wide receiver that got traded.
So let
D.
me say it like this though, because I mean we could draft a wide receiver and second in this draft coming up. But I mean if you're 6-2, like in football, because it's such a small season, small pocket of thing. Just tacking all this stuff in here mid season is just going for it. So what do you think about people that say that? Because me personally, I'm selfish. I'm always thinking about, okay, like say basketball, you got 82 games, and then you really need to build. You need to build chemistry and that type of thing. Football is a little different. You don't necessarily have to do that. You don't have to develop big time team chemistry in order for the five guys to play well throughout the year. Like football is more spread out. You know what I'm
Mhm.
saying? So I mean, getting like a Claypool or getting one of the other wide receivers, you know, um, I don't know. I don't know, because I mean, I'm thinking of like if he was got one of those guys and then also got Odell, and then as time goes on in the season, now we're tapping on the door of the Super Bowl. Do you
Mhm.
think tapping on the door in the Super Bowl this year would have been worth it,
I guess
or not?
you think getting Claypool and Odell automatically means that we're better than. You got to think about the teams we got to leapfrog now.
Right.
So the only teams that's really better than us record wise really is the Eagles is undefeated, right?
Hmm.
Dallas is we already lost to them once. Both of them are in our division. So for us to even make the playoffs is going to be difficult, right?
Right.
So after that, you got teams like Arizona who has a losing record now, but they have the firepower now that DeAndre Hopkins, who just scored a touchdown,
All right.
they have the firepower with him now back. Remember, he was suspended for like the first 4 or 5 games. So now
Right.
that he's back, like that record is going to go up. You still got the 49ers. We're not better than the 49ers. Like their roster is way better than ours talent wise, and their coaching staff is really really good. So like getting those two players, getting Odell and Claypool, isn't really leapfrogging either one of those teams maybe.
Right.
And we haven't even talked about anybody from like the Central. Like, oh, I guess the Bears. It will have to be like Minnesota. Like, look at the weapons that they have. And you said before that they're 6-1, or something like that, or 7-1, 6-2. So you got to think about if we would have got those players. Is it really tapping in like close to the Super Bowl? I don't know about that. Like it would have been hard, man. I don't know. And for to lose that draft compensation, lose like a second and a fifth, and our roster's got holes everywhere, I wouldn't have did it. Not for Claypool.
I
Like
got
if
you.
it was a surefire number one wide receiver, like I'm looking at like Hill right now from the from Miami Dolphins. Like if we got him for like a second and a fourth or a second and a fifth, then hell yeah, that's the number one wide receiver.
Right.
But Claypool isn't, he's not pushing the needle like that. Like we'll see what happens when he actually gets acclimated with the Bears because he didn't even play today. I don't think.
Yeah. Yeah. He posted his locker today on Twitter.
Really. Like we
Yeah.
was in talks of getting DJ Moore from the Panthers, right?
Right.
Like if we would have drafted DJ Moore and gave them like a first, not a first obviously, but we would have gave them a second and a fourth with DJ Moore. He's not pushing the needle to getting us to the Super Bowl.
Right.
And I don't, and that's not saying trying to crap on him. I don't like. I think he's a number one wide out, but he's like a maybe a low level number one wide receiver. He would have put up numbers here, but I don't think his contribution would have had us in the Super Bowl talk. I don't think none of these dudes are, not the
Well,
ones that were available.
at this point in time, we're 6-2, so nobody thought we were going to be 6-2. So we're six
That's
and
true.
two because of me, right? I'm just playing around, but
I
the
give you that.
belief, just as fans, I feel like that with that we might put a little bit of, pixie dust up in there with just our enthusiasm and, just hoping that they're gonna do something good and waiting for the big time play. The coaching staff did a great job and stuff like that. So, I don't know. I think. I think just thinking that way, thinking of it in a fantasy way, and just like the mystique of it all,
Hmm.
maybe by the Giants getting a couple extra pieces this year, then it still puts us in that swan song, Cinderella, Disney movie kind of thing that we could still pull it out, the underdog kind of thing.
So, are you talking about like actually winning the Super Bowl though? You actually think, or you got it in your heart that we're going to win it, or we're going to
But
at least try to be close to it?
well, look at every Giant Super Bowl that we've won. Even back to Phil Sims when we had the shootout with the what was the Broncos, right? Shootout
Yeah.
with the Broncos. Phil Sims, he looked like the greatest quarterback that ever lived in that Super Bowl, man. In that
Yeah.
playoff series, that whole playoff run, he looked like the greatest quarterback to ever live.
Yes, that's
And then
true.
we won the second one with Jeff Hostetler, for Christ's sake. And then the next one, like the miracle, the ball got stuck in the guy's helmet and all kind of stuff, and we beat the greatest quarterback, arguably of all time, twice. You know,
Yes, yes, yes.
undefeated Patriots team. Who would have thought of that? And I think all four years that we made it, I don't think that we were favored to even make the playoffs in any of those years, if I'm not mistaken. At least especially the last two.
Right. Well, yeah, you're right. I mean, don't get me wrong, and not for nothing. Eli was really, really good during those playoff runs too. Like at the time, how a lot of people would say like he was carried by the defense and stuff. Maybe in the first Super Bowl, but the second Super Bowl, like the defense was still good, but Eli Manning was a monster in the playoffs. Like that playoff run, when we won the second Super Bowl, he passed for more yards in the postseason than any quarterback ever in a postseason.
Yeah, but he was smoking the Phil Sims pack, man. Whatever Sims was smoking that first time, that's what he was smoking. Because I mean, Manning, for how good he was, all the championships and everything that he's done throughout his career, like he's had some really like bad, questionable games in his career. But he was able to put a pocket full of games together that now he's cemented in history. But that's how football is. Football, it's like any given Sunday. Like you could be bad all year. What's the other guy that made a career commentating? That's a quarterback. Um,
Now,
yeah, well,
Troy
he's an
Aikman.
older guy. He's an older guy, older than
Oh,
all of them. I think he's was the Steelers.
oh, Terry Bradshaw.
Terry Bradshaw. He was a garbage bag too throughout in the regular season, but then he put together some really good postseason runs. That now you can, when you talk about quarterbacks, you have to mention him, because he put on some really good shows, when the time needed to.
Yeah, but that's why Terry Bradshaw, like to your credit, that's why he's not. Like when people talk about the best quarterbacks in league history, don't get me wrong, like his name is up there, but he's never mentioned like in the top 10 probably.
Right.
And for a quarterback to win like four Super Bowls like that, like that's the reason why. Like his numbers weren't really like. I'm not saying he was a game manager or anything like that. Like I don't want to disrespect him, but he wasn't. I don't know, like he wasn't Tom Brady.
Right. He definitely wasn't good like that at all. But just it's that lightning in the bottle thing with just, the whole, thing about football, the any given Sunday stuff. You could be the greatest player ever that one Sunday, you
Like
know?
even Tom Brady, when you look at him, like he wasn't the best. Like he got six Super Bowls, right? Like
Mhm.
his first three, remember they were all won by 3 points, and he was pretty much carried by their running game and defense too.
Right.
Like he didn't start getting airing the ball out until like they played us in the Super Bowl.
Right.
You know what I mean, and lost. But that was the time when Tom Brady was airing out.
Right.
Like when they had Randy Moss and stuff. Before that, like his number one wide receiver was like Troy Brown. They was running the ball with like Corey Dillon and had a good defense with like Richard Seymour and players like that. Like
Right.
they were a hard nosed defensive running team. Like that's why Brady didn't get like a lot of. I don't know. He didn't get a lot of goat talk then. He didn't get the goat talk until he actually started putting up the numbers and started winning.
Right. Yeah, they had the perfect storm too. Like, if you want to talk about coaching staff too, Belichick, that's the right coach, right? Belichick for the
Mm-hmm.
Patriots. Yeah, so I mean, he had like a crazy coaching staff too, just like how the Giants do. Just have
Yeah.
like really good minds at each position. Everybody's getting it to work properly, game management and stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
So I mean, that's why I'm like, it would have been fun. I would say, not that they had to do it, but if they did do it, it would have been a lot of fun knowing that the guys that we have this in control. that we know that they're not afraid to make these decisions. I believe in some of the guys in the locker room. Just the ability to be able to motivate everybody to be together as one. They really believe that. I really believe they believe all that stuff that they say to each other during behind closed doors and stuff, man. So it
Right,
would have been fun. It would have been fun to go for it. Would have been fun.
right. Well, I
But I
mean,
get it.
don't get me wrong. We're still not out of it. Like I know we didn't make any moves on the deadline, and people are disappointed in that. But we just got to keep pushing. Like this isn't just for this season.
Yeah,
This is the first year that this regime has been in control,
yeah.
and so far I'm giving them like an A plus.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. So that's the thing too. As a fan too, because I know thank God fans don't run franchises, man. Because the things that fans would do, just for emotions and stuff like that. Because that's
Right.
what I'm just speaking off of, like, just emotions and stuff, whatever.
Hmm.
So if fans were in charge of franchises, we would just be in trouble all the time.
Right. Because the answer to most of my questions will be the exact opposite if I knew or if I thought this roster was good enough to sustain in the future with, like, I don't know, giving up like the second and the fifth pick. And if I thought our roster was good enough to take away those draft picks, then yeah, I would have said get them.
Right.
But I don't think our roster is good enough to be giving away draft picks. I don't. It almost doesn't matter who they would have gotten it. Like it would have to be someone who is a bona fide number one wide receiver, like
Right.
somebody who gets 100, 100 catches a year, Pro Bowl caliber wide receiver. Like say if even though it was a free agency thing, and like he signed with them, he didn't get traded there, I don't think. But Stephon Diggs to the Bills
Mm.
when he went to no, he did get traded because that draft pick is the reason they got Justin Jefferson. But it would have to be a trade like that, and they gave up a first round pick for Diggs.
Right.
We're not going to give up a first round pick because we don't know if we're going to draft a quarterback yet. That's the only reason. But say if they knew Daniel Jones was going to be our franchise quarterback, that number one pick would have been up for grabs too if it was a bona fide number one wide receiver like Stephon Diggs. That changes a lot of stuff. Like they did that because they knew the rest of their roster was good enough to not have a first round pick. Like that's why the Bills did that, and look at what they are now.
Right.
That's good roster construction. And just to let everybody know, our GM and coach come from the Buffalo Bills. So they
Right.
know exactly what they're doing. That's why I trusted that they didn't make any moves. Like, okay, like they're like at this point I kind of trust any move that they make until I see, in my eyes that they messed up something. Everything
Right.
has been pretty much top notch so far.
Yeah, definitely. So I mean, the Giants at this point, I think they're gonna have a low first round draft pick, right? They're gonna be probably like, trying to find it out, the 28th pick around there,
But
if things stay the way they are.
oh well, man, mid twenties to high 20s. Salute to Andy. Andy said, "Peace. He gonna rewatch the rest later. He going to bed." Salute to Andy. Salute to Andy for even watching us this long. Just talk about football.
Yeah, yeah, Andy's dope. I mean, Andy's in Poland, for Christ's sake.
Right,
They don't even play any kind of football there unless it's the Super Bowl.
right. And the only time he watched football is when he watches with us in the background on Streamyard.
I'm telling you. Well, let me give you this to you. So I mean, early on draft stuff. This is way too early, right? But say if the season ended now, the Knicks will have not the Knicks. The Giants will have the 28th pick. So I mean, they got us picking a cornerback, from
Hmm.
Utah, Clark Phillips. Is that
um,
what we wait till next year to get with the first round draft pick, a cornerback?
Either a cornerback I could see is man. To be honest, we have so many holes. It could be a lot of people. We could pick depending on who's on the board and where we pick. I'm guessing wide receiver first,
Hmm.
cornerback second, and linebacker third. Even though we don't draft linebackers in the first round, but since it's a new GM, I think that's on the table again
Right.
because with the Giants, it's you know a ongoing joke or slash curse that we haven't drafted a linebacker in the first round since like Carl Banks.
Yeah.
Like it's been a very very long time. Like we don't do that. So this regime might actually change that because we definitely need a linebacker, but it won't be a quarterback if we're drafting that low. So I would guess wide receiver, corner, and linebacker.
There's quite a few good linebackers I'm looking at too. not quite a few, but they have the Jets at 26 drafting Trenton Simpson, and then the other one is from Oregon, Noah Sewell.
I like Seawall. He's considered for us maybe Seawall because he's really considered a middle linebacker. You know, big, stocky, run stuffing. That's what we kind of need. But
Right.
Trenton Simpson, I would love him too. He's more of a weak side linebacker, but we could probably play him in the middle, and he's good in coverage.
Yeah,
So
definitely.
for my pick, it would be Trenton Simpson from number 22 linebacker from Clemson, I believe.
Right. So I mean, I'm trying to. I mean, the second round is kind of crazy. There's not many sites out that have second rounds out. So I'm just trying. I'm trying to dig a narrative out of my ass here with this. Because I mean, you cornerback, linebackers, and what was the other wide receiver, right? So I mean,
Hmm.
with the second pick. So if we're picking 28, so that means that we're gonna be picking like I mean, super deep. In that second round. Like
Yeah.
what is it? 40, 50, 60, whatever.
Hmm. Yeah, when it comes to that, like when it comes to mock drafts, you never know. Like when it comes to second rounds, like I do mock drafts on my own every year,
Yeah.
but in the second round, you pretty much it's just a crapshoot. Like you have no idea who's going to be available in the second round.
Yeah.
But in the first round for us, even if we draft low, to me it almost has to be wide receiver, yo.
Yeah, I think so too.
Like,
Because we're like right now we're overachieving, right? So we're ahead of the April, like you said. So if
hmm
if we if we feel that way, I don't like that's another thing too. Like the GM, I listen to the way that he speaks to the media and stuff. So he's kind of like having a good time with it, So I really don't know what he's thinking,
hmm
But we could be thinking about like shooting for the fences, because maybe we skipped some steps here this year. So maybe
hmm
we think that getting that offensive player might be the like missing piece kind of thing, to the offense. I don't know.
yeah,
Interesting.
it's the my number one wide receiver that I want for us is a big possession wide receiver kid by the name of what's his first name? His last name is Johnston from TCU.
Okay.
It starts with Quentin Johnson. Quentin Johnston. TCU. I believe he's like 6'4", 215 pounds, big body kid. For me, like since we got like Wandale Robinson, and all of our wide receivers are kind of like slot wide receivers. If Sterling Shepard comes back, he's pretty much a slot wide receiver. We're going to have Wandale Robinson. Hopefully he'll stay healthy. He's like our number one slot receiver now. Quentin Johnson is pretty much Kelly Galladay's replacement.
Right.
He's in the mode of that big body, red zone terror that is going to be a huge mismatch problem for corners. Like he's a big guy, like DK Metcalf type, like 6'4", 215, 220 pounds, solid, not over, not too slow because big wide receivers like that usually a little slow. They're possession guys, but yeah, he
Right.
can actually run. Like he's a nice wide receiver. So if anybody wants to look up wide receivers in the draft, look up Quentin Johnston, wide receiver from TCU. I forgot what number he is, but like if you see him on the field, like he's he stands out like a sore thumb. Like he's a huge kid on the outside, just catching footballs from anywhere.
Yeah. He said 32 broken tackles
Oh,
on,
you looking him up now?
yeah, 32 broken tackles on 67 catches. That's
Yeah,
pretty good.
he's a beast, man.
Yeah. I
But
mean,
but
yeah.
there are other wide receivers too. Don't get me wrong. Like it's another kid from Oklahoma State, Jackson Smith, Eligba, Jordan Addison from USC. He's pretty good. I don't know if I see number one wide receiver from him, but he's pretty good. Yeah, we need a wide out. We need weapons. We're going to draft a couple of wide receivers in the draft
Right.
early too.
What about Josh Downs? What do you think about him? Did you mention him, Josh Downs?
Josh Downs, he's the wide receiver from North
North Carolina.
Carolina. Yeah, North
Yeah.
Carolina. He's a little small though. Like
Yeah.
Josh Downs, I think he only like 5'9", 5'10", 180. He's
Yeah.
more like a slot, but he can play on the outside too. But he's more like a slot. Like if you want a slot guy, he might actually be the best slot guy in the draft.
Yeah. We already got a five, somebody under 6 feet already, and then my
Right,
man Robinson.
right.
So that's the end of that.
And don't get me wrong, it's not like he can't. play the outside, but I would prefer him inside. So I
Yeah,
wouldn't draft him. He doesn't fit us. He's a good player, but he doesn't really fit us. So
yeah. It's interesting, man. There's a lot of stuff going on with football. That's why I like it. There's so much stuff to talk about with it. So many different positions, so many different scenarios and conversations that you can have about everything. It's crazy in
right,
football.
I'm definitely when the time comes, I'm definitely gonna have a draft show. Talk about some prospects, man. That's the number one thing I like about football, any sport, to be honest. Even when the NBA, when we talk about the Knicks and stuff, I was on Steph's show talk about the draft when I started going on her show for the first time. That was the reason why I started going on there.
Yeah, you plugged yourself as the draft expert.
Yes,
I
yes, I
remember.
did. Football
Yeah,
is even worse. Like
yeah.
I'm definitely a draft expert when it comes to the football. I have my own mock drafts every year that I put out on like Twitter, and I have a Facebook group, sports group too, that I have like put mock drafts in.
Yeah. Yeah, it's a lot of fun, man. Jordan Addison, did you mention him? Jordan
Yeah,
Addison?
USC.
Yeah,
I mentioned him too. Like I don't necessarily know if I see number one wide receiver out of him, but he's pretty good.
yeah.
And there's also a wide receiver in LSU, Keishawn Butte from
Butte. Yeah, I
Butte.
know Butte. I'm
Yeah, from
familiar with Butte.
LSU. Like all the talent in the world, but he's kind of I don't know. He's having trouble at LSU though. I don't know what it is because I'm a Florida State fan, so I saw him firsthand this year. We played them the first game of the season. We beat them, but it's how we beat him. Like we locked him up, and he was visibly like angry on the sideline. Like he actually had like an altercation with like coaches and stuff and everything because he wasn't getting the ball.
Damn. So we he got his booty beat.
Right. But when it comes to talent wise, he might be the number one wide receiver in the draft. So if he falls because of his attitude, but we feel the need that we can, you know, a good kid and actually do have a vetting process like every other team. But I can see us drafting that kid too in the late 20s if he falls because of his attitude or his personality or whatever.
Yeah, I'm familiar with Butte just because of his name. His name is attractive, so that's why I was able to see him. So I get what you're saying. The vetting process is important too with that. You just have to know, like, if a guy is angry like that, there's got to be a reason. You got to figure out what it is. Is it because of passion? Is it because
Right.
of attitude, or is it because of selfishness? There's a question. So if a guy is that pouty on the bench, you have to know what's the reason behind it.
Right.
What's the energy that he's giving up? So if it's out of passion, then you can go with that.
Right.
Somebody like that could actually help the team. You
Like
know.
you're talking about a kid that broke like the out of all the nasty wide receivers that came out of LSU, Odell Beckham included, right?
Hmm.
Butte is the best wide receiver that come out of LSU ever. Like he's
Oh, wow.
broken every freshman record there is. Like last year, he had like a 300-yard game.
All right, well, I'm sold already, man. That's the guy. I want that guy. Sorry.
I'm just talking about accolades wise, like talent wise. Like he is a monster. Like he's
Yeah.
good. Not saying that he's gonna have like a better career than some of these other dudes have, but when in terms of college, like LSU's team isn't half as good as some of the teams that they had in the past. If he played on those teams, they would have been absolutely ridiculous. Like you got to think about the wide receivers that LSU had. They had Justin Jefferson and some other wide receivers there at the same time, like Odell Beckham and who's the dude that got drafted by the Dolphins? Like they had another Jarvis Landry. They was on the same team at the same time.
Hmm.
Like two offensive rookie of the year candidates was on the same college team at the same time.
All right, so that makes me feel better now that you said that because I mean, talking about trading those picks to get the reinforcements for this year, talking about the draft, in this way, gets our hopes up, because we're still going to be able to make the team better during this draft coming up.
Right. And I trust their draft process. I loved most of the rookies that they drafted this year.
Yeah.
Like I think we're in good hands, man. Like that was the whole point of this show, really, to show everybody that it's the middle of the season. We have a bye week, So like it was lucky that our bye week actually was right smack dab in the middle of the season, so we could reassess things. And I think we're in good hands at 6-2. The talent for this roster definitely does not call for our record. So that should show you that once we actually get the talent in here that we want, we are going to be very, very good. We're going to be a good football team going forward.
Yeah. So taking a time out, and really sitting back on ourselves, not feeling ourselves so much, taking a step back, we can look at the big picture that instead of having light in the bottle for 1 or 2 seasons, now, through the process, we might be able to get a perennial team that can roll out some stuff, year out, year in and year out. That's at least that's the goal, I guess.
Yep, that is the absolute goal. Actually, have a winning program year in year out. Nobody pretty much goes to the Super Bowl every year unless you are the Patriots. That kind of that spoiled a lot of people, especially Patriots fans. Like
Yeah,
being a Patriots fan in
generational
the
change.
last 10 years, you don't know what losing feels like really. Like they've gone to the Super Bowl like 7 times in the last 10 or 11 years. So that's a crazy percentage. So
Right.
that's not normal. Like that might not ever happen again.
Yeah, generational stuff, man.
Yep.
The Giants had their little taste, twice. The Steelers, they had their Iron Curtain, but it wasn't like they had an Iron Curtain for 10 years. It was like
Hmm.
a quick little piece.
The
The Bears
Cowboys,
had their time.
the Cowboys in the early '90s,
Yeah,
they had their little run, and they have went to the Super Bowl since '95.
yeah, they haven't been. Some of these guys that's drafted weren't even born when the Cowboys
Right.
won their chips, man.
Think
So that's
about it.
crazy.
The Eagles won the Super Bowl finally a couple of years ago, but that was their first one ever. Like it's hard winning Super Bowls, man. Like it's not easy being like a perennial winner. Like that's very, very difficult in football.
Yeah, it's difficult in all sports, though. To tell you the truth. Like the Yankees, number one, man. They got like 27 chips. So I
Yeah.
mean, no matter whatever argument people want to talk about the Giants, oh yeah, Giants. I mean, the Giants, the Yankees. You Yankees suck. They're saying what you gonna do next year. I'll just be like 27, man.
Right. 27.
That's gonna be the answer for every argument. 27,
Yo, I tell people that all the time, and I say the exact same number. I be like, yo, 27.
and they're like,
Got 27
oh,
championships.
like, hey, what you want to say? Because
Right.
I already seen like four of them.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying because we got so many, and obviously most of them were before our time. But look at the ones we just saw. Like we saw four of them.
Literally, right? Literally four since what 96 or something.
Right. Like
So
the
we seen us win. So I mean, if we lose for the next 20 years, to me it don't mean nothing. To me, it's like, listen, we got 27 shots. Oh yeah, but you're talking about Babe Ruth, and like, yeah, Babe Ruth, one of the greatest baseball players ever. You know what I'm saying? Oh, Joe DiMaggio, yeah, one of the greatest baseball players ever. you know,
yeah.
what else you want to keep talking about?
I never talk about Babe Ruth though. I hate Babe Ruth. That's another
Yeah,
subject. I no,
yeah,
I don't
Babe Ruth,
yeah, I don't
fucking
rock with
John
Babe Ruth.
Wayne, all those guys.
I ain't gonna lie. I shit on Babe Ruth every time somebody mention him.
But he has a good candy bar though. I like Babe Ruth's.
Yeah, I think I did. I don't remember the last time I had one. It's been decades, but yeah, I used to kill Babe Ruth, man.
Well, Baby Ruth, it's called. But
Same
still,
thing.
yeah, delicious.
It was his. It was his candy though,
It was
wasn't it?
originally his.
I think so, wasn't it?
I know he had his own. I think all those baseball players back in the days, all the way up to Mr.
Yeah,
October, he had one too. Reggie Jackson Bar, he
yeah.
had
If
one.
I'm not mistaken, I thought Baby Ruth was like a Babe Ruth thing, but I could be wrong. I don't care. Like I could be wrong.
Yeah, I don't care neither. Just
I don't care. I
yeah,
could be
man.
wrong. You ain't here for the news. If you're watching this, you are not here for the news. Let's get
Right.
to some scores real quick, man. Then we'll get out of here.
Okay.
Uh Patriots did to the Colts. The Colts are sorry as hell. I don't know what's up with the Colts. Like they got a lot of injuries. Matt Ryan got benched. Yeah, Jonathan Taylor is not Jonathan Taylor this year. Like he keeps getting hurt. And even when he was
No
healthy,
team.
and even when he
Okay.
was healthy on the field, like he didn't produce like he did last year. He was the leading rusher last year.
Right.
Packers lost again. Oh my God, what is happening to Aaron Rodgers and the Packers, man?
But you hear the people talking about him,
Whew.
before the Giants beat them and before the Jets beat them. Did you see all the commentators, like running, jumping out their seats to talk good about the Packers?
Because he's Aaron Rodgers, man. You wouldn't think that they would be like that. It's like this is a quarterback driven league.
But what does that say about these guys, man? They only talk about the name. They only reporting on the name. They're not talking about the game at all. They just like
Yep.
really promoting whatever players that are hot in the
Yep.
NFL.
Because no, I think a lot of people don't realize no matter how good your quarterback is, if your wide receivers is ass, you're gonna be ass. Period. As a team, like it really doesn't matter. Like if you don't have anybody to throw to, you can have anybody back there. Like don't get me wrong, it would be worse if you had a terrible quarterback. But like if Daniel Jones was, if you put swapped Aaron Rodgers for Daniel Jones, we'd still be 6-2.
Yeah.
No, matter of fact, we might not even be 6-2 because there's been a couple of those drives that we had with Daniel Jones. It was because of his legs that
Right.
Aaron Rodgers or another one of these quarterbacks wouldn't have done.
Right. So maybe Aaron Rodgers, for as much as Daniel Jones has been hitting the turf, Rodgers might have called it a season and said, "Listen, man, fuck
Yes,
this. I see you guys next
right.
year." You know what I'm saying?
And you know, early in his career, Aaron Rodgers used to run all the time, but he's an old dude. Like he doesn't do that anymore. Like he can't do what DJ does when it comes with his legs anymore.
Yeah.
But you know, he's still Aaron Rodgers. Don't get me wrong. But if you don't give him any wide receivers, in Tampa Bay, their wide receivers keep getting hurt and inconsistent. So look at Tampa Bay. Tom Brady is still Tom Brady, but if he doesn't have anybody to throw to consistently, they're not going to win any games. That's just how it works.
Yeah.
But then you have then you have teams that's the opposite. Like the Jets, the only reason they kind of struggle is because Zach Wilson is young.
Right.
Because they have all the, you know, they got all, not all the talent in the world, but they have a very, very talented offense over there. Like their wide receivers, their running backs before Brees Hall got hurt was, you know, pretty good too. And they're
Right.
all young and they all have good pieces, but Zach Wilson just has to, you know, take the next step. But if and when he does, the Jets are going to be really, really good. Like
Yeah.
you have to have both. You have to have good wide receivers and a quarterback. If you have one without the other, then you can still win games, but you're not going to be a complete offense. Like that, it doesn't work that way.
Well, since you mentioned the Jets, talk about their game. They just beat the Bills, man.
Yes, they
That's
did.
pretty big.
Beat the Bills, number one team in the league. The Jets it's like the first time they beat the Bills in I don't know how long. I think the Bills had a nice little winning streak on them, and the Jets at home, you know, took them down. That's crazy. That's the best win of the season
Yeah,
by far.
absolutely.
The Commanders lost. Uh-huh.
Yeah, I
Commanders
don't like the
lost.
Redskins. I hate the Redskins for some reason, man.
I've always disliked them.
Well, back when they had what was the quarterback? Uh,
Doug
Williams. What
Doug
was?
Williams.
Yeah, no, Doug Williams, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, back when he had Doug Williams, obviously,
Hmm.
people were fond of that team, but outside of that, man, I cannot stand the Commanders now. They're the Commanders.
Right. Right. And the Bengals. This score, the Bengals beat the Panthers 41-21. But the Panthers actually made it look better than the game was because at one point it was 42-7.
Right.
Like it was really really bad, man. Joe Mixon. I told you off air earlier that pray for anybody who went up against Joe Mixon today in fantasy. Like when I stopped counting, I think he had 5 touchdowns,
Damn, that's Tecmo Bowl shit right
and
there.
that was like in the third quarter. So I think 42 points. Joe Mixon might have all of those points.
Mm,
I think he might have been the only one that scored. Your man Trevor Lawrence beat the Raiders today.
wow.
That was a good win for them. The Bears lost by 3. Look at Justin Fields putting up, you know, numbers without a number one wide receiver.
Wow.
Because Claypool, I don't think he played, and if he did play, I don't know what he did. Yeah, I don't think he put up big numbers today if he did play.
Right.
Cardinals are down 3 to the Seahawks now. I got the Cardinals winning that game. It's still early in the second quarter. We'll see what happens. And the Bucks and Tom Brady is facing Matt Stafford and the Rams, and that's the end of the almost the end of the third quarter. It's only 3. Nothing. And then the Chiefs and the Titans play tonight.
Those are
Saint,
good games. You got the
yep.
Ravens and Saints too. See,
Ravens and Saints play tomorrow, Monday Night Football.
okay, but those are all good games coming up, man. So maybe I might do like you and just like if I'm not doing anything.
Yeah, I'm just be chilling, sitting here and watching football. Make me a nice little cocktail. Eat me some food.
Yeah. I keep saying if I'm not doing anything, man, I gotta go to the store and then I want to do stuff on my own channel too today. I don't know. I
Yeah,
mean, this is
man. That's the whole thing about content creating, man. That's why I was asking you what time you was going on because I was gonna go on with you. But if you're gonna go on later, yeah, I'm gonna be chilling. I'm gonna be doing something. I might be too saucy in order to be popping up on no diehard Knicks.
yeah, yeah. Right now, I think after we finish here, we probably gonna jump right out, try to knock that out. So I don't know, man. We'll see. On my channel, maybe around 8 or 9. I'm thinking, but I don't even know. We'll see.
Yeah, wifey probably go kidnap me by then, bro. Knowing me, I'll probably see this. What I be doing, like we'll be watching something, right? But then I got like an iPod. I got like an iPod with like a on a tripod, so it like sits up. So we
You
could
got
be
an iPod on
chilling.
the tripod. You just
Not an
got
iPod, like
box.
not an iPod, an iPad. I'm sorry. So it's
Oh,
an iPad. So I'll be sitting here. We'll be watching something, but I can have the iPad, just chilling on the side of me with the game on.
okay,
That's on mute. That's how I usually do.
okay.
So I don't usually miss anything.
I'm waiting for them to get like glasses. You put the glasses on, and then nobody know that you're watching the game. We'll just be sitting there like this, like, what are you doing, bro? Are
Hey yo,
you watching the game? No, I'm
the
not watching the
future
game.
gonna be crazy, man. Like I'm waiting for you ever try to get into or thinking about getting into like the metaverse with the virtual reality?
I don't know. That just kind of scares me a little bit.
It scared me, but I be thinking, yo, like courtside Knicks games might be like $40, pimp. Like,
In the metaverse, right?
yeah, in the metaverse, you know what I mean? Pay a little $39.99. They got you right on the floor. Eru, what's happening? I'll meet you there. We could even meet there. We both got tickets. We could
Right.
actually be chilling. Like we'll have to, it'll be like the fake avatars or whatever. But I'm
That's
pretty sure they
scary.
got some type of either chat room that you could talk to the people that you with and have like a ticket package and everything. That'd be crazy.
That's scary, man.
It's
But I
scary, but look, we can go to a game without leaving the crib.
But yo, I could see them like giving people suits. Let's say if you put on a suit where you can feel the atmosphere, so I could give you like a pound, and I would feel the pound in my hand. But
Word.
then while I'm watching the game, I'll be so, yo, get out my pockets. Yeah, who's that in my pockets? I can totally
You
see
up
that
there
happen.
scared of your own crib. You live by yourself, you feel somebody go in your pockets. Now, I don't want that suit, Ebro. I'm good. I don't want that suit at all. Somebody, no, I'm good. Too many
Yeah,
weirdos out there, man, be touching you for no reason. Nope.
that is interesting, man. But like I said, it is scary. The technology is getting, it's starting to like like they say they only give you a little bit per year, whatever, because
Hmm.
if they gave us everything, our heads would probably explode.
Exactly.
But
But think about it, because I've never like personally, I've never been courtside. Like I never sat on the floor. You know what I'm saying? So
yeah,
for
I have.
me, just for look at you, look at Ebro at a Knicks game for real.
Well, I mean, preseason. If you catch a preseason game, you'll be able to get
Okay,
like all the way down there at the end because they're not
really?
charging regular prices.
Okay, but now I'm talking about like on the floor next to like the scorer's table.
Yeah, I've been down there.
That's what's up, yo. Look at
Yeah, I
you.
sat behind. I sat right behind the scores table a couple times
Hey,
on
yo,
both
look,
sides. I sat on the
you
other side too with the celebrities and stuff on.
you get a clap for that.
I mean, like if you know, like say my dad does security. So the one time we went down there, I was
Oh,
behind I was behind the basket, and freaking Dolan was like 4 rows down in front of me. I didn't realize that until he got up. So, oh shit, fucking
word.
Dolan
See,
right
look at
there.
you. You in rich people
Yeah.
seats. Then you didn't even know it because you got hooked up.
Yeah, I got hooked up with a security. One of the security guards was able to get us down there.
That's what's up. So think of me. I'm in my 40s, grown man. And I'm a diehard Knicks fan, right? Never had the money. Well, maybe I've had the money, but not willing to spend the money on a courtside seat. If I
Right.
could get like a pair of glasses, that's $300. That's the metaverse, and then have a subscription for tickets. I could sit on the floor, and they could actually seem like, with the camera, seem like I'm looking at the game at the angle of me sitting on the floor for like $30, man.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Like that's nuts. And like you can move your head, and it's actually looking at the game.
But like even if I had the money, if I had the money, I probably would go. But even that, man, like we went to the home opener, You should have seen how dirty it was down there, because we had like the thing where Sim had us go down there to shoot free throws and stuff. You
Hmm.
should see how dirty it is down there on that lower ball. It's incredible that those people
Really?
spend all that money for seats and they just totally trashed the place. When they was garbage on the Knicks floor from fans.
Really? That's
Yeah,
crazy. See that because people like that, to be honest. I mean, usually when you have money like that, you're used to stuff like that, so they don't cherish it as much as like if you take a kid, well, not necessarily a kid. You take anybody that's a diehard Knicks fan and never been on the floor, they're not throwing trash on the floor the first time they go down there on that game. You know what I'm saying? Like they
we're not
wouldn't do that.
eating like that. We won't even be eating like that.
Right.
I'm telling you, man. I wish I would have recorded it the last time because it was so noticeable. It was like incredible. They had like you could see like beer cans emptying, and you could see the cascade going down the steps of the beer drip, going
Hmm.
down, and popcorn bags and food, like big plates of food just thrown on the floor. It's crazy.
Right.
You know?
Yeah,
Oh,
man. Like I guess it all depends. Like people with money, usually if you have floor seats like that, you usually go often.
right.
To me, like if you got money to do that, you usually have money to do that.
Yeah, you got your corporate, thing or whatever is happening.
Right. It's usually not people that's doing it for the first time.
Right.
My broke ass being down there the first time, I'm not putting no trash on the floor. Are you crazy? Like that wouldn't even be in your mindset. Like you'll cherish that moment. Like you would try to make that moment perfect.
Yeah, definitely. I'd be trying to steal shit if it was me. Now I ain't
Right.
gonna
I'd be
try
taking
to trash
somebody
it.
like pens or something like that. Like you see like you was remember you was handing out coasters? Like you know what
Yeah,
I'm saying? I'm taking everything that's not nailed down there, man.
I'm telling you, I'm gonna try to come out there with a seat cover or something.
Right, little napkins that say MSG on it. I don't care. Like it's just the I don't know. Like I guess you'll look at it for nostalgia. Like it would be the one time that you have floor seats.
Right. Also, one time when I was a kid, my dad, this is in the '80s, man. So my dad, there was a certain entrance, right? So you walk through the entrance. Like if you're nice enough, you can walk all the way through, from the entrance, and the entrance leads right into the Knicks court. Back
Wow.
in the day, there was nothing stopping you from walking from 30, what is that, 32nd? No, excuse me, 33rd.
Hmm.
From walking to 33rd on that exit there where the buses used to come in, there was nothing stopping you from going through there and walking straight beeline right to the court.
All you had to do was be a people person.
Yeah, my dad was super cool. He would come in there giving guys pounds, and people know him. Oh, what's up, E? Yeah, yeah, it's my son. Blah. Oh, okay, cool, man. Yo, have a good one. Yeah, good. No, keep walking that way. Nah, man. Nah, fuck that, man. Go that way. Go around that way. That's the way to go.
That's what's
Like
up,
they would
man.
tell you, all right, cool. And then next thing you know, we go all the way. I used to watch guys shoot around.
Yo,
I
that's
remember
what's
Rory
up.
Sparrow. Yeah, I definitely remember Rory Sparrow. He was shooting around before the game, and we was there, and nobody said nothing to us.
Nice. I didn't know that, man. I didn't know you had all those type of experience in the garden like that. That's dope.
Yeah. But I mean, nowadays that's definitely not happening nowadays. I mean, even shout out to Spike Lee and those guys. You got to go through the celebrity exit, Chief. You know what I'm saying? It's not, you're not
Right.
going through it.
Right.
You know,
Rich people
take
gotta
your
go
ass.
through a separate entrance too.
Yeah, take your ass around the corner, Chief.
He up there mad that he gotta go through another entrance. Who cares?
Yeah, through the luxury entrance. They carry you up to your seat. Nah, fuck that. These guys are treating me horrible up in here.
Right. He didn't want to. Didn't he say he didn't want to go up into the elevator or some shit? Like I was like, yo, come on, yo. And
Yeah,
then
but like,
everybody all up in arms talk about Dolan. These are rich people problems that I do not care about. Like, did the game start on time?
oh, man, I know security guards that work there, older guys and stuff. So they have a lot of stories and stuff. But he says Spike Lee used to come through the employee entrance and stuff, and me just saying what up, and he'll come through with family members and stuff like that. That's a security risk. He's just coming through with whoever he wants to come through.
Right.
As Spike Lee, and then he'll just walk through, go through the elevator like he always does, and then
Hmm.
he'll find his seat on his own. But he's just walking freely through the garden like he wants to. But that's a security risk.
Right.
Like it is Spike Lee, but you got your cousin that used to be a heroin addict. You're trying to give him a nice time, and anything can happen.
Ah, your cousin that used to be a heroin addict, man. Ebru, you never cease to amaze me to throw in little jabs like that.
But it's true, man. The guy he been sober all his life, and he comes in there, and then he just loses his mind and comes into the garden. You never know.
Yeah, but that's one thing I would want to. That's like on my bucket list one day to go, like the sit on the floor one day,
Yeah, yeah,
like
definitely.
smack dab in the middle. I got like the Spike Lee seats. I'm gonna do that one day.
Yeah, one day too. I think I want to do that.
Right. I'm
You
gonna
know,
get
you
it
know
from
what's funny?
Spike, yo. What's Spike number? I'm gonna get it from Spike. Hey, yo, Spike. I just need one game, Spike. Just give me one game.
He's not a nice person though. He's not a nice person. I met him a couple times. Remember when he
Really?
had the store, the 40 acres and a mule store? He had actually had
Mm-hmm.
a clothing store. So,
Yeah.
but his office was in the store. So he used to be in the store. You know, he
Okay.
was not a nice person, man. From what I remember.
Really?
I remember I wanted to get like the jacket with the 40 acres and a mule sign in the back.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I wanted one of those. You know, so I was buying it. It was expensive too, so I was buying it or whatever. But he was there. He would act like he could give a fuck about you that you was in the store. You know, he was just one of those kind of guys. So people say
Wow.
that he hasn't really changed since then in his older age.
Wow. I don't know. When it comes to, famous people dealing with other people, I don't know. Like I'm not famous, so and I wouldn't want to be. So
Yeah,
like, and I'm already an introvert and don't like people anyway. So I can't even imagine having to
right.
interact with people all day. Like you probably get tiresome after a while. Like people don't look at you don't look at people as the same if you got to deal with them every time you walk out of the house. Think about
Right.
that.
Yeah. I mean, you got guys that are like serial what do they call serial autograph people. They
Right.
pop up to everywhere you go to get another autograph.
Yep.
You
And then
know?
sell them.
Right. And
And
that's
then
their
sell 'em.
literally their job that they do every day. It's
Yeah.
crazy.
So how do you deal with that when you're a famous person? How do you vet out the people like your true fans and stuff that you want to get an autograph to? The people like that.
Right. Yeah. How do you tell who's who? Because somebody could be pretending that they're real fan. Yo, man, I'm a great fan, and they'll get you in and get the phone, get the picture and whatever. Next thing you know, he's like trying to do something to you. You know.
Right. So that's why a lot of I know some athletes that say they only give autographs to kids and that's it.
Right.
Like it's just a rule. Like I only give autographs to kids. Nobody's exempt. So that way, you don't have to say yes or no. You just know what it is.
And shout out to Clyde. Clyde, they said Clyde should be like, man, fuck them kids when he was a player. You know. I think Clyde regrets that. That he wasn't like more personable with the fans earlier on.
Think so?
He is now though.
Well, he's definitely now, but
Yeah.
I don't know. Like I wasn't. We're not old enough to know Clyde back then, so I don't really know how he was with the media. Like
Right.
really know. I mean, you can hear stories and stuff, but like your dad will have to tell you how Clyde was with the media. Really, like he actually lived the stuff. Like I don't want to go by just reports or stuff
Yeah.
like that. Like people was telling me how, or my uncles was telling me, even though they're not Lakers fans, like how Kareem was viewed in the media. Like he never talked. Like they hated him. Like with the Muslim stuff, and because of the Muslim stuff, he just stopped talking to the media altogether.
Right.
Like so, as a child, from the outside looking in the '80s when we was like 10 years old, we didn't know that he was just Kareem
Yeah.
Abdul-Jabbar. Now I'm saying, but we didn't think about like he never talked to the media.
Right.
He wasn't a
Well,
media darling or whatever.
right.
It
To
was
to bring
magic.
football. Well, I was trying to segue back to the football because I mean, it's one thing in the Garden, you're in New York City, Manhattan, that type of thing. Out in the Meadowlands, you're in the middle of nowhere, so you don't really get those interactions with football players like that. And a lot of times, people don't even recognize the players because they got helmets on.
Right. Like that's why I said football at one point. I said football is the ultimate team sport because there's
Yeah.
so many people on the roster, and it's also the ultimate team sport because you got a lot of autonomy when it comes to like people knowing who you are, like you said, because of helmets. Unless you're a quarterback, that's why they say it's a quarterback-driven league. If you notice, they're the ones that you see with their helmets off the most,
Yeah.
and the cameras pan to them because they're the quarterback of the team.
Right. And they're the ones selling Subway sandwiches and things of that nature.
And that's the reason why players got tired of that, so they started taking their helmets off. Remember, they started taking their helmets off, and then the NFL changed the rule. Now you can't take your helmet off on the field, or you get a penalty.
Yeah.
It's because of
That
that.
happened. Didn't that happen recently on in the Giants game?
No, not the Giants game. It happened to DJ Moore.
Yeah.
Right, it happened to DJ Moore.
Yeah.
Right when everybody told us that we were supposed to trade for him. Yeah, but
Right. Right.
that happened to him last week. Yeah, but think about that. That's the reason they did it.
Right.
Because it's not a safety issue. What's the point of giving somebody a flag just because they took their helmet off?
Right. Well, didn't somebody get their helmet knocked off? Was that in college or
Well,
or was it?
well, players get their helmets knocked off all the time.
Well, he had got his helmet knocked off and he kept going. So because he did that, they had fined him or
That,
something like that.
well, yeah, that's different though because I don't know. They didn't find him, but even in college, when your helmet comes
He got a
off,
penalty. He had gotten a penalty.
oh, okay, when your helmet comes off, the player's supposed to automatically be dead. They're supposed to blow
Mm.
the whistle. Um, yeah, I don't know why they even gave him a penalty if his helmet just came off or he just kept going. They should have just blown it dead. So I don't know. But yeah, the NFL stopped that. Like a lot of times, you see, like I remember, like watching the Cowboys play all the time. Every time Emmitt Smith scored a touchdown, he'd snatch his helmet off and look into the stands and stuff. You know what I'm saying? Like he wasn't the only one. I'm just making an example. But people used to do that all the time. But they stopped it because of that. Like I guess, like the NFL wants it to be team driven, and that's it. Like your quarterbacks are supposed to be the only stars and stuff. That has stopped. Like recently. But that's why wide receivers had that type of attitude when it comes to quarterbacks being, the ones that's, you know, the face of the team all the time.
Yeah, it's unfortunate because I mean they want to grow the sport. They keep trying to send games out there to Europe and stuff. So I mean, if you want to build the sport, you build the sport through the personalities of the players.
Right.
Shout out to the WNBA. They keep trying to push this like women's like empowerment stuff. But how about why don't you actually push the players? You're just trying to push the image of women's empowerment, but you're not doing anything for the players as far as boosting up their own
Right.
to
Be-
help the league out because nobody knows the players.
because
I don't
isn't
know
it?
any of them.
Wasn't it recently that I forgot what players it was. I think it was Asia Wilson. Wasn't she like the first person to be endorsed by somebody? I forgot. Like it was, she was like the first one to do something, and it was last season. Like,
Was it
how
last?
is she the first one to do anything in the
I think
WNBA last season when it comes to like advertisements and being endorsed by somebody? That's crazy. Like, that's
it's
nuts.
nuts. Like 25 years that the league has been in effect, and it's just that stuff is just happening. It's
Right.
crazy.
Like, how is that even possible? Like, I don't
I
get
mean,
it.
there's one unique thing with women. They do something every month, right? That's unique to them, right? It's unique to them,
Seemed
and
like that
there's no
sponsor should have
women.
been came.
Yo, I'm telling there should be that like I mean there should be like all these super products for that.
Right.
For catering to women for sports. Because I've dated plenty of women that play basketball, throughout the years and stuff. And they all have their own issues. They all have their own secrets that they do,
Hmm.
to take care of things. So I mean that's an obvious advertisement there,
Yep.
you know, for that.
That's just because I think, personally, I think their marketing plan is wrong. Like, the WNBA is marketed to men
Yeah.
when it's really women is the ones that they supposed to be trying to get watch basketball. It's not men.
But they're not marketing sexuality though. You know, they're trying to market like, okay, listen, we're on the same level as you as far as like, whatever. But they're not
Right.
doing it sexually. They're not doing it anything like that. They just like it's like, oh, look at us, we're
Right.
up here with you.
So that's
Really?
wrong. Like that's bad marketing.
Yeah,
Like
yeah,
men are stupid. They don't care. Like
yeah.
you gotta think about who we are. I'm saying that as a negative thing. Like men are dumb. Like we're not gonna ever view like I don't know the people that think like that or the men that think like that. They're never going to view women as equals when it comes to sports. That's just
Right,
how it is. Then they're not going. You're not going to change their mind because of a commercial.
right.
You should be marketing to women who play basketball. Like there are a lot of them. Like why not? Like you said, the products that they can market. Why not market that? It makes total sense.
Yeah, like bundles, golly, all the hairstyles that the
Anything.
women have, anything like
If I
that.
was the WNBA, it would be all women stuff all the time. But for some reason, they they marketed the men for some reason. Why?
Right.
I never got that part.
Well, since you're talking about women, we were talking about football. Women playing football. We was joking, throughout the weeks,
Hmm.
about women playing football. To me, playing tackle football is too much. Just for the simple fact, I just don't want to see like a woman get hit like that, man. That to me, for when guys hit each other, it's like, yeah, fuck yeah. But like two women smash each other, it's like, ah,
No,
baby, chill
I'm
out.
just the opposite. I don't really mind it as long as it's all equal. Like it's all women on the field.
Yeah,
Like I don't want it to be like a co-ed football. Like I actually told you one story one time. I actually played against a girl when I was in high school. Like it was a girl on one of the other teams.
yeah. I think you told
So
me that before.
yeah, so I'm all cool with that. Like I'm all cool with women playing football as long as they're playing against other girls or other women, I should say. But
Right.
I don't have a problem with that at all, as long as everybody's equal. But like them smashing into each other, they'll be the tough women, just like only tough men play the sport. Like you'll weed out the ones that's supposed to be playing. It's just like
Absolutely.
men. Men, all men can't play football.
Hell no. I got cracked one good time, man. That was the end of the end
Really?
of my career.
Yeah, that's what a lot of it's a lot of misogyny. I know that's what we're pretty much talking about. Like every man don't play football. A lot of y'all is punks that do not like to get hit.
Right.
Like there's some women out there that don't mind it.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? That's the ones that need to be playing football.
But like for women though, it would have to be like arena football or something like that. Rather than just having open field like NFL football the way that it is. It would have to be like a smaller field arena style football.
Well,
Because
they do have women leagues, and it's pretty much is like arena style football. Like they don't have it's not 11 on 11. It might be like 7 on 7. So it's
yeah,
more like not flag football, but you know how like arena and flag they got something called 7 on 7. So they just
yes.
have like a quarterback and two linemen, and the rest is just wide receivers.
Yeah, that's exciting. That 707. There's a few females that recently followed on Instagram, man, that are freaking phenomenal athletes.
Yeah.
So but that's the game there. Them the finesse and being able to be powerful and explosive like that, and being able to do more things like like they can throw and run and catch and play defense all in one shot. That's
Mm-hmm.
exciting to
Mm-hmm.
watch, and as far as like the females and stuff. And then you can market that better too because it's not heavily padded up, that type of thing.
Right. Because I knew a couple girls when I was growing up that could play football if they really really wanted to. Like they were mostly just basketball players and track players. But they
Right.
weren't really tough enough to play football. But like when you talk about athleticism, if she caught the ball, you're not catching her if she got
Yeah.
like a couple steps on you. Like there are some real fast girls out there.
Yo, my wife, man, she got the best hands I've ever seen, man. She can
Really?
catch that fucking football, man, for real. When I first met her, because she when I first met her, me and her
That's
both were
funny.
really athletic.
Hmm.
So I remember we had like a game with our friends and stuff. We had like a co-ed game, just a get together, and people got really serious, man. And she was out there running her routes, and she was catching
That's what's
like
up.
she was Jerry Rice out that motherfucker. You know what I'm
See,
saying? So
that's what I'm saying. Like if
yeah,
she actually wanted to do that, yeah, there are a lot of women out there that can play football. They just got to play with each other. That's all. If you're gonna have like a real competition like league, like it just gets stupid when they talk about like co-ed stuff. Like don't do
yeah,
that. Like that's just a gimmick. Just have it play like women play women. Like there's nothing wrong with that, and I actually watch it. But there are some leagues out there, but they don't be on TV that much though.
you're right.
They gotta have a market for it.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, man. Everybody got it twisted. The whole thing. Just keep
Look
it
at you,
simple.
man.
Sometimes I think keeping it simple and it's just the best thing to go
You
about it.
ain't tell me your wife had hands, man. Know what I'm saying? Like your sons might end up being wide receivers or something, man. You got like two slot receivers over there, bro.
I don't know. They got poor attention spans, man. So I have to wait for them to get to that next level. You
Yeah.
know. I think my little guy. When my little guy turns maybe at the end of this year, I might try to see where they're at. But
We're already my son actually turns 10 next week, right? So athletic as I am, I could tell he's not going to be like a football player or anything like that. He's going to be a musician
okay,
because I got that part of me too. So
right,
yeah, I can see a lot of that in me when it comes to him. Like I don't think he's going to be an athlete,
right.
which
Yeah,
I'm
my little
okay with.
I don't know what my little guy's gonna be. They might be professional wrestlers or something,
And you
or
never know. They still young though. How old are they?
6 and 8.
Yeah, they don't know what they want to do. Like my son don't really know what they want to do either. It's just that I could tell what he likes. You know what I'm saying? That's all about what it's all about. What they actually like.
Right. When it comes to sports, you can tell when somebody is has it by their eyes, or when the action is happening, you can look at them and say, "This kid here, he got something." My little guy has that. When we're playing, he has that thing like
Right.
like he just has those eyes, like he's engaged in it, like he can
Okay.
see. You can say, "This kid here, he's gonna be something." My other
Okay.
guy, on the other hand, he'll be dusting a kid, and then he'll just stop. He'll stop to look at him like you know. I'm like, stop,
Yeah,
run.
yeah.
Why you stop?
He just don't get it yet. That's all. When they go older, it'll be completely different.
Yeah, definitely.
You ain't gonna be frustrated. Yeah, watching kids play anything is frustrating. Doesn't matter what it is.
Yeah,
Any type of organized anything, it doesn't matter what the sport is frustrating to watch. Soccer, basketball, football,
yeah.
it's
But
all
that's the
frustrating,
essence,
man.
though. So I mean, when we're talking about advertising and other sports and different genders and stuff like that, it's best to just keep it simple. Take it for what it is, and not trying to invent something or make something more put something in a different light when it's so cut and dry. You don't need to be fancy like all these lights. I don't have need to keep changing my lights, man. Just freaking keep it one thing and keep it
Right.
simple.
That's
You
true.
know.
Yep. Salute to Geraldine. She said, Eru, we're looking good in the My fantasy is not looking good. Jesus Christ. Like, my fantasy is trash. I gotta reassess some things, man.
Yeah, I'm waiting in my league. I'm waiting, just for to see what I'm gonna do. But the NBK league, I think I might win that one again.
Really?
Yeah,
Yeah, I'm pretty much ass in both. I'm not gonna lie. Yeah, like I'm 12th in your league. Good gracious.
yeah,
And then in
and
the NBK league, hold on. Well, I'm sixth. So
yeah,
yeah,
it's early on, so we,
yeah,
we
it's
got
early
plenty of
on.
time to deal with that.
It's early on. I'm sixth. Yep.
Hmm.
And Andy right ahead of me. And that's crazy because you're third. Josh is second. You're third. Ron is fourth. Andy is fifth. I'm sixth, and then Steph is seven, and State is eight.
Right.
Evergreen is rounding off the top 10. Eddie is right behind him.
But the thing with State is not even playing because I'm looking at his roster. He got people on the bench that should be playing and stuff, so he's not even paying
Really?
attention to
Right.
the league.
So that's going to even out. He's going to be last. What's up with Study Hall Bullies? He's 1-17. Is he even looking at his roster?
That's Freezy.
Is it?
That's Uncle Freezy. Yeah,
Oh, you got to contact Freezy, man. Freezy, what's happening?
he likes to draft, but he doesn't like to pay attention to the season.
Ah, okay.
He likes the idea of drafting because he'll show up to draft, but he won't show up no other time for the season.
Yeah, go check out Gmo and Tony too. You gotta look at their, maybe you gotta wake some people up, man. You gotta slap some people around,
Well,
Ebro.
Gmo, yeah, I met him in person, man. So me and him really get a chance to talk, but I can see how, well, he's a good. I can see that he's a good dude.
Yeah, he
You know
seemed
what
like a
I'm
good.
saying?
I met him. Well, at least I seen him when we went to the last MBK thing. He was there.
Yeah, I didn't get a chance to talk to him. I wish I would have, but he's definitely like if it doesn't please him,
Mm.
he's not gonna give a fuck about it. You know what I'm saying? He's one of those
Oh,
guys. So
oh,
yeah, I think he already tapped out. He looked at it, it's not worth my time, kind of thing.
wow. Okay,
That's my assumption, at least.
hopefully I can get it together. Even though I'm in sixth place, um, I got Quentin Grimes on my team, so he's done absolutely nothing for me all season. Now I got him on the IL though.
Okay. Yeah, but we'll definitely do that, man. I don't know what I'm gonna do, as far as time, but I try to keep you posted,
Yeah,
for like the fantasy league update.
yeah. Keep me posted unless you want to do it tomorrow. I'm not doing anything tomorrow night. I don't think.
Well, I mean, tomorrow I don't know what's going to happen tomorrow. I think I might have to tap out
Oh
altogether
yeah,
tomorrow.
cause you going to work for the first time forever. You're not gonna feel like podding.
Well, the Knicks play, so I'll be ready to do the Knicks game.
Oh yeah,
Oh,
we
the Knicks
played.
are
Oh,
late, man.
yo, we play tomorrow.
9:30.
Who we play?
The Timberwolves.
Oh well, usually I would be in the chat or come in. I don't know. It's gonna be late, so
Yeah, 9:30 is rough.
yeah. And even if you go on halftime, what you gonna go on like around 11 o'clock?
That's what I'm saying.
Ah man, tomorrow 9:15 is the start time. So
Yeah,
that
so
means it's gonna start like around 9:30, like you said.
yeah, so I mean, if I do it, I have to do it tonight. I can't do it Monday, and then also election day is on Tuesday. So that's
Hmm.
going to be a little hectic also. So I don't know if I'm going to want to do that on Tuesday.
We play next Sunday again. Oh my God.
Yeah, we didn't even talk about with the Giants, right?
Yeah, I got to see when the Giants play, but the Knicks play next Sunday at 12. So let me
Yeah.
see when the Giants play.
Oh my God, they're killing us with that.
Yeah, that early ass start time. Why are they starting at 12? We play at 1 o'clock. We play the Texans.
Ah, yeah, yeah,
So that's gonna suck. I don't know. We'll see. We'll figure it out. We got a week.
yeah. That's the
Probably
beauty with football.
might hop on, each other's shows that day. I don't know. It all depends. That's early, starting at 12.
Yeah, yeah, definitely, man.
Yes, we
Good
about to
show, man.
get up on out of here. Great show, everybody. Salute to everybody that came in. Geraldine, Tsunami, and Andy. Salute to all y'all, man. Thank you for joining me, Eru, on this half. What is it? Half season bye-week celebration that we had, man.
Yeah, 5 week special. Very good. Good talking to you, man. You know, you really do know your stuff. So, I know my stuff too, but I'm not versed, whatever. So, it's good to get the questions answered and stuff. You humor me with the stuff that I'm saying. But I think it was a good show.
Yeah, man. Again, salute to everybody. Salute to everybody that's watching this on the replay. And we are out. Peace.
Peace.